stream. There is wrestling for us to enjoy this evening, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing. So very excited to be bringing this to you. Of course, there is a big cage match tonight featuring a couple of teams. Those teams are not called Tippity Top, right, and Outer Square. They've actually got different names. But, yes, we are very much going to see them in action. We've got Dr. Brent Butcher in action as well. She is one of the best butchers in the business. She is going to be in action. We've also got a tag team match. It's a 4-way tag team elimination match. And we've also got Kendrick Umaga and Michael Nakamura taking on Dean Ambrose and Eddie Kingston Town. So, yes, we've got lots coming up tonight on AEW. And it should be a very, very fun show. All joking aside, this is going to be a really, really good card, a really good show. This is one for the record books. The reason why we've got to be a bit careful, and obviously we can talk about the show, but the reason why we've got to be a bit careful is, of course, there have been copyright strikes being handed out like candy on YouTube by AEW bots. So if there are any AEW bots watching, do one. But yes, they have been striking channels. So we do need to be careful in regards to graphics and things along those lines. But of course, we can talk about things. So yeah, we won't be talking in code throughout the whole of this stream. But I'm genuinely excited for this. I think it's going to be a very good show. This is one of those kind of special episodes that you really do look forward to watching. And it should be good, man. It should be good. This, obviously, is the first Blood and Guts match. We were meant to get it before with Inner Circle and the Elite. And obviously, we didn't get it. It got cancelled because of COVID. So, as a result, this is the first time that we're actually getting this. And it's between Pinnacle and Inner Circle this time. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Let me try and jump into the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Austin said, what stream is this? This is an exciting wrestling stream. Yeah. And I've been told to say that by my lawyer. WWE TJ8 said, Days, I just watched the Montreal screw job. Do you think Brett screwed Brett? Do I... Well, yes, that is exactly what we're here to do. We're here to talk about wrestling. Any wrestling. No wrestling in particular. So we can talk about the Montreal Screwjob from 1997, if that's what you want to talk about. Do I think Brett screwed Brett? Do I think Brett screwed Brett? I think it's 50-50, to be honest. I think it's 50-50. I don't know that Brett can... You see, the problem with the Montreal Screwjob is that Brett had it in his contract that he was allowed a bit of creative freedom. It was in his contract that he could say, you know, if he didn't want to drop the belt on a certain date to a certain person, he had the freedom to do that. So when he said, I'm not dropping it to Sean in Canada, he was totally within his right to say that. He had a degree of freedom that allowed him to say that. And he proposed that he would drop it the next night, and he came up with alternatives. And obviously Vince didn't want to go with that, and so we ended up with the screw job. I do think, though, if you're leaving the company, you kind of negate that part of your contract in a way, because you leave him. You know, I can understand the Vince wanting to get the title off Brett, because he does not want that title going to WCW. So I see it from Vince's point of view. Whatever we do, we've got to get the title off Brett. But I see it from Brett's point of view of, in my contract, I had creative freedom. I wasn't going to drop the belt to Sean. Sean said he wouldn't do the same for me. So why am I going to do it for him? So I can kind of see it from both sides. It's such an interesting story. And one that, you know, you can really spend a lot of time exploring. And there's loads of documentaries on it. loads of stuff on the network on it. So if you've never watched any of those, I'd urge that you do. Because some fascinating stuff, absolutely fascinating stuff. Isn't it Wrestling with Shadows that is like actually with Brett and filming Brett around that time? There's a documentary, it's not on the network, but it's called Wrestling with Shadows, and they were actually filming Brett behind the scenes just by chance as all of this played out. So they've got some incredible footage of like stuff that you wouldn't have seen otherwise, behind the scenes stuff. It's amazing. If you've never seen Wrestling with Shadows, you've got to check it out. So I kind of feel it's a bit 50-50. I can understand Brett not wanting to do that for Shawn. I can understand Vince wanting to get the title off Brett. So I don't know that Brett screwed Brett, but he didn't help the situation. The two cages are all over Twitter. They both have a roof on them, says Daniel. That's cool. I haven't seen them, actually. So, right, let's go through what the actual match card is. It's Dr. Britt Baker in action. We've got a 4-way tag team elimination match. We've got Omega and Nakazawa taking on Moxley and Kingston. We've also got Cody Rhodes taking on QT Marshall. So, that is the Blood and Guts lineup. In regards to, I can see one image. I'm not going to show you, but they are all over Twitter. There are some images of the cages. Joaquin Uribe said, Days, what do you think is the best War Games match? I kind of feel like the original ones. Like, I'm not a massive fan of War Games, to be honest. I kind of feel like the original ones did them better. I don't like the NXT ones so much. But yeah, you go back to like the original WCW ones, and like the Four Horsemen and people like that. For me, those were that's. Quite often the originals are the best. Like, a lot of people would say, like, the original ladder matches, the first ever TLC is amongst the best, the first ever Hell in a Cell is amongst the best, the first ever ladder match is amongst the best. So normally you go back to the first ones and they tend to be the best ones. Maybe not so much for the Royal Rumble. I think the Royal Rumble got better, like a fine wine. So that's maybe an exception. Watching MLW, waiting for AEW to start. Yeah, I mean, it's rammed, isn't it, on a Wednesday? We've got MLW, you've got AEW, and then you've got One Championship just after as well. So One is a really good MMA promotion. So if you've never watched One, you might enjoy it. It's got some old UFC fighters in there. Some big names. So and it's been all right. I say all right because last week was a little bit underwhelming, but the weeks before were great. So One's been quite a lot of fun. I've been enjoying watching those. And MLW, whenever we've caught that, has always been good as well. And of course, big rumours that they are going to be working with WWE soon. And obviously the big news at the moment is all about Daniel Bryan. So news breaking that Daniel's contract has apparently expired. Apparently WWE are doing a lot to try to get him to re-sign. Like, apparently the report I read earlier was that they are putting a lot of pressure on Daniel to re-sign a contract. There's no way they want to see him go to AEW. That would be a big get for them. That would be a big get for them. So WWE apparently working very, very hard to get Daniel to re-sign. I think there's probably a chance that you don't see Daniel for a little while. I think there's a chance that he could go off and be with his family, have some family time. And, you know, this might be the start of that kind of part-time schedule that he was talking about. I also wonder if WWE are going to allow him to work with New Japan, because I think he would like to do that. I think he'd probably like to go over there and have a match over in New Japan, and do that. They obviously won't allow him to work with AEW. They might let him do something with Impact, but I don't know. I mean, like, he's in the driving seat, isn't he? They desperately don't want him to go to AEW. So the ball's in his court, really. He could get really nice money. He could get a really good contract out of it. And he might even be able to agree with Vince that he can go and have a match with New Japan against one of their stars and do something like that because he wants to go over and, face a certain someone, maybe Switchblade Jay White or Ospreay or Naito or Ibushi. There's lots of options for him. So, it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens with all of that. But I wouldn't expect him to pop up, obviously following this development. I wouldn't expect him to pop up on NXT or Raw anytime soon. But I imagine he's going to have a bit of family time first. Attention, this is TNA 2004 watch-along. For anyone asking, no, Tony can't hear. Get lost, bots. Yeah, Moldy Spoon. Tony can't take us down. Edward Brown said, "Hey, Days, I loved my Chinese. You didn't get any. Ha, 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 loser." How are you today? Yeah, Edward Brown sent me a tweet going, "I'm having a Chinese later. Would you like some?" I was like, "Yes, please." So, nice that you've jumped in, said you've enjoyed your Chinese, and I didn't get any. So, shout out to you, Edward. I was doing really well till that sweet burn, that sick burn that you just burnt me with. DB could have some amazing matches in Impact, says James Chadwick. Shout out to you, James. Hope you are well. He could. Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine there'd probably be a stipulation saying, don't you think you're wrestling Kenny Omega? Or I wonder if they'd let him do it, but it's got to happen in Impact. I wonder, to be a fly on the wall in that conversation would be fascinating, wouldn't it? Vince saying, all right, you can wrestle Kenny, but it's got to be an Impact. What a weird thing for Vince to say to one of his talents that he's trying to sign. Just do not go to AEW, right? If you want to wrestle Kenny or you want to wrestle anyone, do it on Impact, right? You do not go to AEW. I do not want to see you in Jacksonville, young man. Days, Ahmed Smiles is here. Shout out to you. Who's that? Heather. Shout out to you, Heather. Love the channel, says Tammy. Thank you. Zach says, hello, Days. I just found out about this math app. Hello. Called Mathway. This math test has been easier than normal. What? Okay, cool. What's a math app? I don't understand what you mean. Like, it's just an app that asks you math questions? Okay, cool. Have I put that this is like a math watch-along or something? I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Harley said, Days, so tonight, Triple H AJ. No, not happening. Not happening, bud. Not even an exciting wrestling promotion is going to be booking that. By the way, it's been announced that we're going to learn who Kenny Omega's challenger is for Double or Nothing. I can see a surprise happening on the show. Sting debuted on the last special show. Okay. Bryan Danielson and Samoa Joe are all elites. Well, I think, haven't they got a no-compete clause? So, obviously, Daniel at the moment is, if his contract's expired, I'm pretty sure he's going to still have a no-compete in there, which isn't going to allow him to go anywhere. I'm certainly not expecting him tonight. And then Samoa Joe, I think he can't go anywhere till like June, so I wouldn't expect him tonight either. So I don't know. I mean, like maybe they will have a surprise or something, but I honestly think that this show, I kind of think that this show is built around this match, and I think this match is going to be the talking point. I personally could see Pinnacle winning. I think Pinnacle are a new group. I think they want to push that group. And I think that they're very much going to want you talking about how great this match was and how great a performance such and such put in or whatever, If you kind of bring out someone like Samoa Joe, all of a sudden everyone's talking about Samoa Joe. They're not talking about the match. They're not talking about the performances as much. Everyone's talking about, Samoa Joe's here. So, I don't know about this one. This one, they might really want you to focus on that Blood and Guts match. Obviously, I could be wrong. But I really wouldn't expect any of those talents that got released recently, because I think they've got like a no compete clause in their contracts. Black Saw Johnny Hex says, "Hey Days, hope you are well. My arm is sore. I just got my first shot today." Very cool. Shout out to you, buddy. I've not had mine yet. So, I'm a bit jealous of all these people that are getting theirs. Feels like the whole world is being vaccinated apart from me. Like, I'm just completely being ignored when it comes to the old vaccination front. I don't know if I've done anything to upset the government. I probably have. But, yeah, everyone seems to be getting vaccinated apart from me. So, hope it was a good one, Johnny. And obviously no side effects, but in truth, I haven't heard many people having those, so I'm sure you're fine. Days, if Daniel Bryan did go to AEW, Vince would be mad and definitely would snap, says Dylan. Oh yeah, he'd be furious, mate. Absolutely furious. Because there's only a few names in wrestling that would really move the dial. There's only a few names that would really resonate with those casual fans. And Daniel Bryan is absolutely one of them. John Cena would be another one. A Roman Reigns would be another one. Maybe a Bayley or a Sasha. Certainly Sasha. Maybe a Becky. Maybe a Charlotte. Would really move the dial. And but Daniel would absolutely be one. Daniel Bryan, a big name. Obviously, the whole Yes-all-mania and the Yes movement. And, that thing was just insane. Like, there was other sports fans that was doing the Yes thing. And, if AEW got him and got that, where everyone in the crowd was, like, doing the Yes, and that is something that casual fans are aware of. It's something that really broke out of wrestling and, as we said, took over other sports. Other sports had fans doing the whole Yes thing. So, kind of crazy if they were able to get him. But I don't know. I think WWE really are going to be putting the pressure on to Daniel to re-sign. Why do you think that we keep seeing Dominic Mysterio? Because another of those names that would move the dial would be Rey Mysterio. And in order for him to not go to AEW, part of the agreement is, all right, we'll put your son in some matches and we'll push Dominic. Because, honestly, Dominic does not do it for me. I watch him wrestle and he's fine. He's not an embarrassment in the ring by any means, but he's not someone that I think is that special. I really don't think he's. I think there's way better already in NXT than Dominic. He hasn't really got much of a personality. Promo is okay. Physique is not that impressive at all. Moveset is okay. It's just there, isn't he, really? Taking up a spot. So I kind of feel like he's only there because of, obviously, Rey. And I think the reason that WWE are booking him is because they don't want Rey to go to AEW. So, I don't know. Perhaps we'll be seeing Birdie in matches with Daniel or something soon. I don't know. You are correct. They have no complete clauses, says Enchilada Mule. I'm sure I heard that they had, yeah. I'm sure I read that the people that were recently released had no competes. I'm not 100% on that, but that's certainly, I read it in a couple of reports. So, who wins tonight? Will it be Outer Square or the Pineapple? I think Pineapple are winning. I think MJF's team is going to be victorious. I think they haven't been around for long. I think they need to be legitimized. I think they need to feel credible. I think Inner Circle will always feel credible because of Jericho. Jericho is very much going to make them feel like a credible group, whatever happens, because he's such a big name, such a big star. They're always credible as long as they've got him around. But with Pinnacle, they haven't really got that. So I kind of feel like they need the win more. Plus, they're a new faction. They really need to establish themselves. So I'm going to go with Pinnacle. Vape Ross Vape said Brock, Daniel, Joe, Andrade, the new outsiders. Could be very interesting. I don't know that I could see Brock go into AEW. I don't think he needs. That is going to have to be serious money, and I don't think AEW are going to spend that kind of money on Brock. Maybe they would. I don't know how much it cost them to get Mike Tyson, for example, but I don't think it was all that much. Not Brock money. Brock money is serious money. So I don't know, and I don't know if Brock's going to be up for it anyway. I don't know if he's got any friends there, to be honest. I don't know if he's got any friends, full stop, thinking about it. But at least in WWE, he's got a good relationship with the likes of Vince. He's got a relationship with Triple H. Obviously, there's a lot of respect for people like Undertaker. He came through with the likes of Orton. He was coming in 02, 03, breaking in as a part of that OVW crowd. So, Batista, Orton, he was coming through with all of those, Shelton, Benjamin. But I honestly don't know who he would know. Well, obviously he'd know Jericho, whatever, but I don't know if he's got great relationships with people in AEW. So, I know money talks, but that's serious money. That's serious money. Days, the real question is, AEW bots, did they screw AEW? Or did AEW bots screw wrestling YouTubers? AEW bots screwed AEW bots. That is. Bryan doesn't have a no-compete clause. Okay, that's interesting, Drift Lewis. I haven't seen that news. Days, do you think Vince will put a Legends contract on Bryan like he has with Taker and Cena? I think everything's on the table. I genuinely think that Vince is going to do whatever it takes to make sure Daniel doesn't go to AEW. If a Legends contract will do that, then so be it. If another full-time contract is what he wants, then so be it. If it's an increase in money, so be it. I think everything's on the table. If you want to work limited dates because you want to be with your family now, so be it. I think everything's on the table right now. Edward Brown, shout out to you. Moldy Spoon said, what's your thoughts on the NXT Championship being up for grabs in a 4-man ladder match? Cross versus Riley versus Dunn versus Balor. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of these kind of matches for titles, to be honest. I think we were only talking about this yesterday. I don't understand why Bobby Lashley is having to jump through all these hoops as a champion. When you're the champion, you are the top guy, right? Sit on the throne and watch everyone fight amongst themselves to be the person to challenge you. Like, Karrion Kross is the champion, right? It's not his fault that NXT aren't able to figure out who the number one contender is. If I was Karrion Kross, I'd be like, put him in a triple threat, I'll take the winner. Whoever wins can face me. Why have I got to defend my belt in a fatal four-way ladder match? Like, how? Karrion, I could understand if Karrion has done something and this is the punishment. So, if Karrion had been interfering in all of these matches and beating up these people backstage and interfering in their matches, then I could understand NXT saying, right, as a result of your actions, you will now defend your championship in a fatal four-way ladder match. Because I get that. That makes sense to me, because you're being punished for interfering in all of their matches. But what's he done wrong to get himself into a fatal four-way ladder match that's completely now got, he's not got the advantage anymore because now all it takes is for someone to climb a ladder and they get his belt. And he hasn't done nothing wrong. So I'm not a fan. I think if you're going to do a match like that, you really need a proper backstory to it. You need a reason for it. And there's no reason for it right now. I mean, literally, it's because NXT can't figure out who the number one contender is. And there's about a million different ways that they could figure that out. So I wouldn't be a fan of it. Days, what do you think Edge hasn't been on TV for the last month? Maybe he's injured. WWE would have confirmed it. I just don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, it might be that the plan was always to get him to WrestleMania. The plan might have always been, right, we'll do the Rumble, you'll win the Rumble, you'll go to WrestleMania. We'll see what happens there. And I don't know if they said to him he was going to win the title. I don't know what the plans have been, if the plans have changed. I don't know if he was never winning it, if he was winning it, or what happened. But I think probably they had creative for him up until WrestleMania. The thing with Edge is, obviously, he's been away for a long time. His body is in a bad place. They're having to really be careful with him and kind of, walk him through these stories, be careful with him, and just have him for certain segments, certain moments. I don't think there's... there could be a plan to have him wrestle at WrestleMania Backlash, and maybe we see him on Friday, and maybe, he steps up and challenges Roman. But I am expecting that to be Cesaro, to be honest. So I don't know that we will see him on Friday, but I just think that this was part of the plan. I don't know that he's injured. I just think that they've agreed we'll get you up to WrestleMania, and then, you take a bit of time off after and heal up, and, we'll go again. So I think we see him again. I fully expect to see him again. Austin said Cross is sexy. He would destroy them. The Khans are worth 3 times the amount of Vince. Signing Brock would be easy if they wanted. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, are they worth 3 times Vince? Sure, but where is their money tied up? What is that wealth? Is that paper wealth? Is it stocks? Is it, is it all tied up in the teams? Are they worth 3 times the amount of Vince because the Jacksonville Jaguars are worth X amount? Well, if the Jacksonville Jaguars are worth X amount and that's counting towards their wealth, Fulham Football Club is worth X. Jacksonville Jaguars are worth X. AEW is worth X. Add it all together, and it means they're 3 times wealthier than Vince, but that doesn't mean that they can take money from those companies to spend on Brock. So I don't know what the budget is for AEW. I don't know what cash they've actually got that's free, what capital they've got that they can actually use. I wouldn't really read too much into their wealth, because that's not money that they might have access to. It might be tied up in assets. So Brock, either way, however you want to carve it, he's going to be a lot of money. Could they get him? Maybe, but it's going to be a lot of money. And I don't even know that Brock would go. I would be stunned. To see Brock Lesnar in AEW. So far from easy for him to go there. Vape Ross Vape said the Khans are giving 24 million signing bonus to Trevor Lawrence. Brock would be easy. I disagree. Because, again, you're talking about different budgets for different things. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, that's a Jacksonville Jaguars budget. I would imagine that is a completely separate books. I wouldn't imagine that this is all coming out of Tony Khan's pocket. I would imagine that that's the budget that's come from Jacksonville Jaguars profits, that's come from Jacksonville Jaguar TV rights. I wouldn't imagine that that's got anything to do with them signing Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, without having access to the books, it's hard to say. But don't know. I don't think this is as easy as what people think. I think there's a lot of money that's tied up with certain assets, and Jacksonville Jaguars, of course, generates a lot of money. And yeah, I mean, they got the number 1 pick, didn't they? They got Lawrence in the draft, but that's surely coming out of the Jacksonville Jaguars budget, not AEW's budget. I wouldn't know what AEW's budget is. I mean, I don't even know what they're getting paid from TNT, because wasn't the original deal that they weren't getting that much from TNT? They were literally just getting the TV time. I don't know that they were getting paid all that much from TNT. That might have changed, because, of course, TNT was happy with the ratings and then negotiated a new deal. But I'd be stunned if they were getting paid a lot of money. I don't think they are. They've certainly not got any kind of arrangement like Fox with WWE or USA Network with WWE. There's no money coming in of that scale. So again, what's the AEW budget? I don't know. I don't know that that's ever been disclosed. And it's that Brock would have to be paid out of, surely. Days, like you said, I highly doubt AEW could afford Brock, because from 2012 till now, Brock is the highest paid wrestler. I highly doubt AEW would be able to handle Brock Lesnar funds. Well, look, what I'm going to say on this subject is I don't think it's going to be easy for them to sign Brock Lesnar. First of all, I don't think he wants to go. Second of all, I think that it's going to come out of AEW's budget. I don't know what that budget is. And yeah, I just kind of think like this is a lot of money. This is a lot of money. Like Brock comes out of WWE's budget, who have got, you know, crazy TV contracts. Just signed $1 billion deal with Peacock, of course. Fox deal, USA deal, deals all over the world. You know, TV rights in India, TV rights in the UK. And not TV rights where they're not getting paid money, but TV rights where they're getting paid serious money. Think of all the licensing agreements that are in place as well. Like, it's money coming from so many different revenue streams. You know, their budget is significant. Miss Clown 1 said, what are your thoughts on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Okay, we can change gears if you want to. Man United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I really like Ole. So I won't spend long on this subject, but I think Ole, you know, club legend, was a bit unsure when he first came in, because of course he hasn't really managed anywhere other than Mulder and Cardiff. Cardiff, he didn't do a great job. They got relegated. But he didn't really get much time there. And so when he came in, it was a bit like, not sure about this, but it's Ole. So, you know, we're going to support him. He'll get us through this phase and we'll find, you know, our proper manager. And then he just ended up doing really, really well. They gave him, like, the permanent contract. We had a bit of a decline then, bit of a wobble. Then there was a lot of, like, Ole out, whatever. But I've never really been Ole out. I was always like, at the start, we'll just give him a chance. And then he did so well, I was like, okay, give him the contract. We had the little wobble. I wasn't too worried by that. I've always felt he's needed certain players. He's needed to bring in certain players, and they've never brought them in. Like we've had some decent signings, but we need someone on the right wing. We need someone in centre defence. And you know, now we're getting other areas of concern. Like we probably need a striker. You know, we need someone up front. And there's lots of different areas we could do with a defensive midfielder. So, yeah, I kind of feel like if they can get him a right winger, get him a defender, fix those two areas, then he really should be right up there for getting the title. And, you know, he'll be judged on that, won't he? But there's a good chance he gets the Europa League, which would be a great trophy for him to win this year. So I think he's doing a good job, man. I think he's had some big wins this year as well, so I'm fully on board with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I mean, he's a great guy, comes across like a really nice bloke, club legend, that'll never change, and honestly, I think he's done really well as manager. He's done really well. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're just kind of taking it year by year with him, really. I'm not saying, like, he's the best thing ever. I'm just saying he's done a decent job. I think he's definitely got United's interests at heart. Boy said, I'm playing with my figures and watching days waiting for AEW to come on. Harley said there could be a good reason to book a fatal 4-way for Apollo because Dabba-Kato interfered in KO versus Apollo and Apollo versus Big E. He also chopped Sammy, so that could be a reason. I'm fine with if there's a reason. If the champ is a heel, say, and has been interfering like that, or Commander Aziz in this case has been interfering, and they want to kind of punish the champion. Because, let's be honest, it is a punishment, isn't it? Rather than defending your belt one-on-one where you are responsible for being pinned or for submitting or, you are responsible for losing the title. If ever you're defending the belt in a match where you can lose that belt and you don't have to lose the match, you're being punished. That's a punishment. So I would only ever look to book those matches if you were really trying to punish the champion. Otherwise, have the champion out the way. He is the end boss at the pay-per-view. And focus your shows on figuring out who is going to be challenging for the title at the pay-per-view. Who is the next person? That's how like a fundamental that I would look to book with. But obviously, it's pro wrestling. It's got lots of different stories going on. It's not always going to be that way. I appreciate that. But just general rule of thumb, that's how I would book it. Austin, I'm playing with figures. Esteban said significant budget, yet they cut so many wrestlers last month. Yeah. I mean, we don't know really why they've done that. I mean, it could be that they wanted to just cut them anyway. To be honest, they didn't have anything for them creatively. Because they also hire wrestlers. I mean, they've brought in Eva Marie. We've seen more recruits for NXT. They brought in Miko Satomura for NXT UK. So, as much as they're cutting wrestlers, they are bringing wrestlers in as well. So, I wouldn't really buy into the fact they're doing that because they're struggling financially. The reports are that, okay, they're missing out on maybe income from fans, but the reports were that they were actually making more money by not doing house shows. House shows had actually got to the point where they were losing money putting on house shows. So by not having to travel around and have the wrestlers going all over the US and taking rings everywhere, the fact that they were able to just stay in one location was financially very beneficial for them. And as we said, it's been during this period they've sorted out the Peacock deal as well. So, I don't know, man. You can't really sign $1 billion deal and then also turn around and let wrestlers go because it doesn't really add up, does it? It doesn't really add up at all. So, there's something very off with those wrestlers being let go and people being let go. I really do think it's because I think that they actually they were probably over capacity because 2019 and 2020, they were just signing everyone up. Everyone was getting signed to contracts. Didn't really matter who you were. They just did not want anyone going to AEW. They didn't know how big of a deal AEW was going to be. They didn't know what kind of a roster they were going to have. They didn't know what the viewers was going to be, like what the audience was going to be. So there was a lot of uncertainty. So WWE just seemed to lock everyone down, just seemed to sign everyone and anyone they could get a hold of. I mean, they were over capacity. They couldn't even use all of those wrestlers. Not enough shows for them to use all the wrestlers that they had. So I think what they're doing now is forget budgets. I don't think it's really got anything to do with that. I think they're looking at, okay, creatively, what do we need? And what do we want to push and who do we want to highlight? And maybe, as contracts are coming up or contracts are running down or, it's getting to that time of year where it's just after WrestleMania, they're really looking at who do we not need? Who do we not have anything for? And if they go to AEW, who is not going to move the dial in their favor? And I think that's why you're seeing some of these names go. Like Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, people like that who, I love Billie Kay. I thought she was awesome and they definitely should have kept her. But creatively, they clearly didn't have anything for them. And if she goes to AEW, that number ain't changing. If Billie Kay goes to AEW, we're not going to start smashing 1.5 million every week. So, I think that is what was at play with all of those rather than, budget reasons. Days, people said WCW didn't have money to sign Hogan and Hogan was too big to go to WCW. They were wrong. What people need to remember is that in wrestling, anyone can be brought. Well, the Hogan situation was a bit weird, wasn't it? Because he left WWE because of Trouble in Paradise, which was the TV show that was being filmed. And then, obviously, there was Ted Turner money. Ted Turner had, the network. He wanted that show. And he was willing to put a substantial budget into that show. So WCW had big backing by Ted Turner. I don't know that AEW has got that same backing by TNT, because if they were going to bring in Brock, they would probably need TNT to really give them that financial support. So would TNT do that in this day and age with a show that's bringing in about 1 million viewers? Would TNT reach into their pocket to help bring in Brock Lesnar? I have no idea. I can't answer that. I mean, could they? Sure. Is it likely? I would think not. But that's how the Hogan deal came about. Was that hasn't come out of like a WCW budget in a way. That's come through TNT. And actually, this is part of the reason why when WCW went out of business in 2000 or 2001, and WWE brought it. WWE didn't get some of them big contracts. WWE, when they brought WCW, didn't get Hogan, didn't get Sting, didn't get, all these Booker T's and whatever, because their contracts were not with WCW. Their contracts were with a separate company. I think it was TNT or someone else, because WCW's budget was limited and they were having to, sign people to a different company. So could AEW do that? Sure. Is it possible? Likely? I really would say no. I don't think they're going to go down those roads of signing. I don't think Brock is going to be signed to AEW thanks to TNT. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think TNT are going to look to be spending that kind of money for this kind of a show. I think they're quite happy with the ratings. I think anything that's going to happen will come out of the AEW budget. I think that budget is going to be relatively limited. I don't know that it's got Brock numbers in it, but I'm certainly not sitting here saying 100% this is the situation. I'm just saying that it's unlikely. I don't think they've got Brock money, and if they do, then they're going to have to move some stuff around. And TNT will probably have to get involved, and I don't think they will. Edward Brown, shout out to you. Days, out of the 3 matches on the Backlash card, what is the one that you are most excited for? I'm probably most excited for Asuka versus Charlotte versus Rhea. Also, Asuka was hilarious on Raw. I can't remember the matches off the top of my head, to be honest. It's not a card that's really grabbed me all that much. So I'd probably go with that. I like all 3 of those, Asuka, Charlotte, and Rhea. So, I'd probably go with that one. But to be honest, I can't off the top of my head remember the other ones. So, I can watch AEW, Bold, and Guns on Fight TV. Let's go. 15 minutes until the show. It is. That's flown. I didn't realise that had gone so quickly. So, we've got just over, or just under 15 minutes to go. Obviously, Blood and Guts match, I think, is going to take up like half the show. There had been rumours that it was going to take up all of the show, but there are some other matches that are going to start us off. Britt Baker in action. We've got the tag team elimination match as well. We've got Cody against QT Marshall. That was really cool last week with Cody on top of that coach. So, yeah, there's some interesting stuff that's going to go down tonight. But it's all about the second half, and it's all about that Blood and Guts match. So, very much looking forward to that. Vape Ross Vape said, most AEW fans would rather have Daniel than Brock. I could understand that. Although I do think Brock moves the dial more than Daniel. But I think that AEW fans really enjoy in-ring action and good wrestling, and Daniel's going to give you that. Brock's a decent wrestler, actually, but he's not really willing to kind of put that work in, if you will. He's someone that, in fairness, what I really like about Brock is he knows that he's a beast. He knows that he's a monster, and he doesn't really allow for his booking to portray him as really anything else. There's been moments where he's had some comedy moments, whatever. We had Brock Party, and, you know, he was getting into that, and he's all right with having a bit of a laugh, but 99% of the time, it's, do you know what I mean? Here comes the beast, Brock Lesnar coming down, and, you know, he's the way that he looks after his gimmick and whatever, and the way that he's been booked and protected has been very, very good, very impressive. I mean, if you compare how Brock has been booked compared to how Big Show was booked, it's night and day. It's absolutely night and day. So I do really appreciate Brock for you know, protecting himself that way, and not, you know, he won't allow people to book him in silly segments and do stupid stuff. So yeah, I could understand AEW wanting Daniel more. Days, what is the best WrestleMania of all time? I don't know, subjective, isn't it? But 17 and 19 are the two that get mentioned all the time. So 17 is normally the top one, 19 is normally number 2. But I've got a soft spot for 30. I thought 30 was excellent with Daniel Bryan and that story, but of course the end of the streak as well. Plus it had a massive feel to it. Felt huge. Like, this year's felt bigger because fans were back, but it still wasn't a full stadium, of course, but felt bigger than, I mean, 36 was obviously just horrific, no fans in the Performance Center, felt small as a result, but like 30 felt massive, 32 felt huge because, you know, what a crowd that was. But yeah, 30, just, I don't know, something special about 30. It was something in the air. New Orleans as well, party atmosphere. Really good, really, really good. Harley says, I loved 37. Daniel said, who do you think Kenny's challenger for Double or Nothing could be? I'm honestly not too sure. I mean, I kind of think that he's feuding with Moxley and Kingston, isn't he? So, could it be Moxley? Could it be Kingston? Could it be either of those? I honestly don't know really who else there is that's ready for Kenny or has been like feuding with Kenny, or my guess would be it'd be one of those two. I mean, I think we're all waiting for Hangman. That's going to be awesome, but it's not time. I wouldn't say it was time yet for Hangman. So we'll have to wait and see. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden said, I hated 37. The damn doll isn't making Raw better, says Jimmy. Right, how long we got? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Ebba Brown, yeah, shout out to you. What is your favourite Rumble match? Asks Nicole. Personally, I love 92. I thought 90... I mean, there's been some really great ones recently, actually. I loved Asuka when winning when she won. I think that was the first ever women's Rumble. I really enjoyed that. Which one? The one where Nakamura won? It might have been the same year, actually. Did Asuka and Nakamura both win the same year? Got a feeling it was... Yeah, I think it was it? So, I really enjoyed those. But 92 is so special just because it is full of legends. Like, constant legends coming out, like Bulldog and Jake the Snake and like all these names that are just massive. You know, Warrior, Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter, Ric Flair. It's just Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. So, and obviously, you know, Bobby the Brain on commentary rooting for Ric Flair to win it. And Gorilla and Bobby are just the greatest commentary team. So Bobby the Brain really adds to the match, He's losing his mind, you know. It's not fair to Flair. He really wants him to win it. And Ric Flair comes out number 1, I think it is, number 2. And has to try and go through the whole Rumble match to win it. It's iconic. It is iconic. It's regarded, actually, as one of the best pay-per-views of all time for WWE. It's not just the best Rumble, but one of the best pay-per-views as well. So if you've never seen 92, check it out. It's special. Crazy Ginger. Asuka Nakamura did win the same year, says Austin. William said we are a very diverse representation of wrestling fans. Allow us to write in creative our ideas anonymously. I can't even say the word. Anonymously. Please don't use hard words like that and expect me to read them. Capsman said, I'm not a big UFC follower, but I did see Chris Weidman is doing better in hospital. That's good. I haven't seen much of an update on Chris Weidman, actually, but yeah, good that he's doing better. I've never seen Royal Rumble 92. Oh, that's very good. Very, very good. Brendan saying AEW, the excitement is building. Richard said, I hope he remembers to put the countdown clock on. Do you know what, though? You've reminded me to make sure that the alarm's turned off so I can... Oh, there we go. Everyone, make sure that you thank Richard for reminding me to turn the alarm off, because that's exactly what I've just done, so that will not sound. That's probably the earliest that I've remembered to do that. Still with a good hearty 6 minutes, 20-odd seconds to go. Woo! Lovely stuff. Look at this. Oh, yeah. I would have settled for Blood or Guts, but AEW is giving us both. Dang it, Richard! I like the alarm. All you alarm fans out there can do one just like the AEW bots. Richard! Oh dear, Richard. Shouldn't have mentioned it. Because I always forget it's going to go off. Majority of the fan ideas that I see are horrible, says Sean. Hello to Heel Santa. Hope you are well. 5 minutes to go. If you are just joining us, I'm seeing people jumping in saying hello. If you are just joining us, then we've got a very, very tasty show coming up tonight. So tonight, we have got Blood and Guts Pinnacle taking on Inner Circle. It's been building towards this for a while. So we've got that match. That's going to be in the second part of the show. We've also got Dr. Britt Baker in action. Doesn't say against who, but Dr. Britt Baker in action. 4-way tag team elimination match. So I'm guessing that will probably start the show. Then we've got Omega and Nakazawa versus Moxley and Kingston. And we've also got Cody Rhodes taking on QT Marshall. So 4 matches, I think, that are going to make up the first hour. And then we move to the second hour, which is going to be pretty much dominated by that Blood and Guts match. Days, my mom works at Walmart, and I told her about the UK. Oh, had she not heard about the UK? That's cool. Well, I hope you said nice things about us. Your YouTube channel is great. I have to something. Did you know that Roman is a 4-time runner-up in the Royal Rumble? 2014, 2017, 2018, and 2020. Anthony, shout out to you. That's a lovely fact. Lovely fact right there that Roman Reigns is a 4-time runner-up of the Royal Rumble. 2014, 17, 18, and 20. Boy said, now I'm sad after that Richard heel turn. Lucas said, hey everyone, I'm going to make me and my wife some dinner. Wow, look at you. You're well trained, Lucas. She's got you well trained. Hey? We've got Sonic, which is basically a drive-in restaurant. We don't have Sonic in the UK. We've got Sonic the Hedgehog, but not Sonic restaurants. But I have seen their adverts. Whenever I've been in America, I've seen their adverts. Their milkshakes, I think, bring all the boys to the yard. Harley said, days the matches are Drew versus Braun versus Bobby, Charlotte versus Rhea versus Asuka, and Belair versus Bayley. Yeah, I saw Bayley actually on Twitter saying it was easier for me to get this match than it was for Rhea to face Asuka at WrestleMania. And then she started laughing. Which is true. I have no idea how she got this match. She didn't win any number one contenders matches, or she didn't do anything in order to get this opportunity. But here we are. It's going to be Bayley versus Bianca. I don't even think they've explained how it's happened, actually, have they? I don't know. I don't know how she got this opportunity. Have we just given up on, like, number one contender matches now? They're just not a thing anymore. We're not going to do them anymore. Now it's like it's a tombola, and what you do is, like, out in the back, they just go, it is triple threat. It's going to be a triple threat. We'll just put everyone in the match. Or it is, it's Bayley. It's going to be Bayley. Like, we don't do number one contender matches anymore. Capsman said, I love Sonic. Their M&M milkshakes I've always been a fan of. That sounds nice. I went to, there's a place called Perkins. I don't know if that's all over America or if it's just Florida, but certainly I've seen quite a few in Florida. It's a chain of restaurants called Perkins. We went in there because there was one on International Drive, and we went in there, looked all right. It was quite homely, actually. It was a bit of a restaurant. It was a bit like, don't know, old, dated, weird. It wasn't young and hip like me. When I go to a place to eat, I want to go somewhere that's young and hip. Do you know what I mean? But like Perkins, you kind of felt like that's where old people went. Come on down to Perkins. Use your coupons. But anyway, we went in there. They did the nicest milkshakes I've ever had in my life. So don't you think that I'm throwing shade on Perkins. Whew. There were some good milkshakes, man. So I'd go back. And plus the old folks were lovely. So, yeah. We don't deserve Bayley. She is so good, says Taboy123. Costa says, I like Sonic and the milkshakes are freaking awesome. Jim Gore said, we don't have Sonic in Canada either. Oh, I bet you have other things, don't you? Like Wayne Gretzky's or something like this. You probably have something. Some kind of Canadian thing. Welcome to Bret Hitman Hart's, where all our milkshakes are bitter. Parental discretion is advised. Yeah, guys, we're about to get going. We're about to get underway with Blood and Guts. Here we go. Going over to the show. The show has begun. Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts. Right. I haven't got any sound whatsoever, which isn't bad because I I don't want them bots after me. But I can't hear anything. What's going on? Has anyone got sound, or is it just me? Where is the sound? I still don't have any sound whatsoever. But in all fairness, I'm not seeing anyone in fight saying that they don't have any sound. So perhaps it is me. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just refreshed it and it seems to be a bit better. Okay. Right. We are just running through the card for tonight. We try and get to the chat. Welcome anyone that is joining us. We do have big show coming up. All right, let's turn this down a touch. AEW giving us a free pay-per-view. Blood and Guts. There is Michael Nakazawa. Don Callis stepping into the ring. We've got 2 rings side by side, of course. Talking about Inoki, talking about Baba, talking about... and then he introduces Nakazawa. Kenny Omega was unable to attend. So Nakazawa's going to take his place, apparently. The camera looks a bit different. Roman Reigns, shout out to you. So apparently we're going to start with this tag match. And apparently there is no Kenny Omega. Right. Right, Moxley coming out. Eddie Kingston coming out. Moxley and Kingston. I don't know who they're facing now. It's meant to be Omega. Omega and... Is it Nakazawa like that? New arena. It's not a new arena. It's still at Daly's place. Oh, great. Great. I just lost the... Oh, brilliant. It's all going wrong. Kenny out of nowhere. Kenny attacks out of nowhere with the belt. Oh, flip. Okay, so Kenny was there. He attacks out of nowhere. And we are underway with our first match. Nakazawa is just in, like, an AEW, like, polo top, really. He's not in wrestling attire. But we are underway. Okay, let's do this. So, Omega and Nakazawa versus Moxley and Kingston. Oh, flip. I've done it the wrong way around. I've done the names in lowercase and I've done the verses in capitals. Oh. Omega and Nakazawa versus Kingston and Moxley. Right. That's how we roll. The cleaner as clean Daisy's screen. There we go. There we go. Now we're rocking and rolling. Satisfying. That was satisfying. Daisy's botching already. Yep. I think Ghost Banana is going to join Dark Order, says Cheese Whiz. Well, we are underway with our first match. No sign of Ghost Banana. We have got Kingston. We've got Moxley in control outside the ring. And as we said, we've got 2 rings set up. So obviously we've got a slightly different layout. We've still got, obviously, people around the ringside area, but it's just they're further away. 2 rings pushed together. Black ring ropes. The aprons are black and they just say blood and guts. The screen is red with blood and that says blood and guts. We're fighting in the left-hand ring. So nothing going on in the right-hand ring. Nice knee to the midsection by Kingston on Nakazawa as Omega comes in. Double axe handle. And Moxley with some knee strikes to Omega. I remember when WWE Saturday Night Main Event was on NBC back in 08, 07. It was in Madison Square Garden. The camera was at a different angle. I guess it was made to make it look old school. Nakazawa has got a lanyard and is choking out Kingston with the lanyard. Tags in Omega. So this match can't take too long because, as we said, we've got a few matches to go through, and then we'll be going to our second part of the show. Joaquin Uribe is a legend. Shout out to you. Said Nakazawa looks like an AEW mark. He does. He's got an AEW lanyard on. He's got an AEW shirt on. They need to do something with the hard cam. Well, I mean, it's obviously set up for later, isn't it? So the hard cam's in the center, and it's kind of having to turn to the side a little bit, but it's set up. I'm surprised it's not on, like, rails, actually, thinking about it. It seems to be just in a static kind of position. And it seems like they're having to, like, turn it to face. Why didn't they just put it on wheels? Okay, so we've got Omega in there with Kingston. Big strike, and Kingston gets driven back into the corner. I guess Nakazawa has run out of baby oil. Yeah, no baby oil for Nakazawa. How do you watch this? It is on... I'm watching it on Fight TV. Fight TV is where you can watch it live in the UK. You do have to subscribe. I think it's like $4.99 a month or something to watch the episodes live. I don't know if they're still on ITV or not. I think they are. I never watch it on ITV. Always want to watch it live. Omega has got Kingston up on his shoulders. He's going to look for a forward roll, and he hits it. Goes over, looking for a moonsault. Kingston moves out the way. Kingston in the corner. Charging over. Nice. Good bulldog by Kingston. Big boy Dally says, I actually hate Don Callis. I've got all the baby oil, says Miss Clown. Well, I can definitely believe that. I hope the stage changes when we go back to the live crowd so that we can see the organic crowd reaction, said those kids act dumb. Hope you are well. Seeing some crowd. It's a great sign, actually. Really good John Moxley sign in the crowd, which looked really cool. Right, we've got Nakazawa in the ring. We've got Omega in the ring. We've got Moxley in the ring. Nakazawa he's taking off the shirt. Shirt has come off. Lanyard has come off. Nakazawa against the ropes. German by Moxley. And Pile driver. 1, 2, and Omega makes the save. Kingston comes over, throws Omega out of the ring. I tell you what's weird. There's no platform there, is there? So from the stage to the ring, there's no platform. So that's weird. When he got thrown over there, I'm so used to that level being there. But it's not there. He just went straight down. So Moxley has got Nakazawa. Kingston is inviting Omega into the ring. Omega's not going to care about Nakazawa. He's like, forget this. He's walking away. Okay, so Kingston has got Nakazawa. Moxley goes against the ropes. Clothesline into a German. And this should be it here. 1, 2, 3. And the team of Moxley and Nakazawa are victorious. And that is our first match done. It's alright. That was alright. I didn't mind that at all. The Young Bucks have come walking out in crazy attire. Look at that. What is Matt Jackson wearing? Shirt and shorts with flowers all over, but from behind the Good Brothers attack. This is my first time watching an AEW kind of pay-per-view, says Novfreeze. Okay, well, we've got the Young Bucks in there. We've got Good Brothers in there. They're attacking Moxley and Kingston. A brawl, what a shocker. Yeah, you do tend to get this after most matches where people come down and attack. He's took his shoe off and he's just slapping Moxley with his shoe. And super kick. Kingston trying to get at Matt Jackson. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really need any of this. Okay, Omega. I think my mom has got that dress, says Quinn81. She had that dress. Matt Jackson has taken it now. Right, now they're attacking Kingston. Moxley is down. He's going for the one-winged angel, and he hits the one-winged angel on Eddie Kingston. And he goes to pin Eddie Kingston, and Nick Jackson counts it. This didn't really do it for me. I don't know if there's people losing their minds over this. I don't know if there's people going, oh, this is the greatest beatdown I've ever seen, or what, but this is all kind of a bit cringe. I thought the match was fine. But... right, Double or Nothing, which is going to be May 30th. So, a few weeks away from Double or Nothing. Hikaru Shida takes on Dr. Britt Baker with Rebel brackets, not Reba. Major announcement regarding the AEW World Championship tonight. I still think that's going to be Kingston or Moxley. I mean, they've just got beaten up there, so you'd think one of them. I mean, it'll be huge if it's like someone from New Japan or whatever, but... Cody Rhodes taking on QT Marshall. We've got that match coming up next. One-on-one. Next. This is good AEW, says Logan. Sunday, May 30th, yes, for Double or Nothing. If you have contract with Impact but are featured on AEW and are taking bumps on that cross-promotion, shouldn't they get paid double? I have no idea what the arrangement is, to be honest. I would imagine they do get paid something for being on AEW if they work both. I mean, yeah, I'd be very surprised if they weren't, but I honestly don't know what the arrangement is. So who is going to rescue Cody in his match? Says Heather. Joaquin said, my God, this is the biggest beatdown I've ever seen. Joaquin was enjoying it. Those kids act dumb said, do you think Tony Khan supports his wrestling friends unionizing? Honestly don't know what his stance is on that. I would imagine he's probably a bit more open to it. It's maybe not Tony Khan that would have the problem. I'd be more interested to know, what does Kenny the Young Bucks Cody think about it? How would Kenny the Young Bucks and Cody feel if the rest of the roster got a union? Would they be for it? Would they be against it? I don't know. Days, what is the best WWE pay-per-view of all time? Maybe WrestleMania 17. I don't think that's gonna shock too many people. Jose Styles says AEW is overrated. It's boring. Well, we'll see. I mean, like, this show is all about the Blood and Guts match, so I don't really mind what they do before. Like, it's all about that match. This show is going to live and die by that match. If that match is good, then this will be remembered as a good show. But if that match sucks, this will be remembered as a bad show. But I'm pretty sure they know how big and how special that match is. Obviously, it's 2 rings. They've been building it up. We were meant to get it last year. We didn't get it last year. So I'm expecting something here. I'm expecting something memorable. Pay-per-view on a holiday weekend. Right, we're going back to the action. And we know that it's going to be Cody against QT Marshall. So let's change that. Right, we've got the Factory making their way out. Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall. And here is QT Marshall. AEW good so far. How is it for you? It's all right. The first match was fine. Wasn't crazy for it. I thought the beatdown was a bit cringe, to be honest. But I think it was meant to be, because I think that group is a bit cringe, like the way that the Young Bucks dress and whatever. Okay, so now we're using the right-hand ring. So this is very similar to how NXT do it. So NXT, whenever they do War Games, they use the one ring and then they'll use the other ring, and they'll switch each match. So the first match we were in the left-hand ring. The next match we're moving to the right-hand ring. Out comes Cody with Arn. So Cody and Arn walking out the middle. I don't like the Snoop Dogg remix of Cody's song, says Taboy. I don't like Cody's new theme remix, says Big Boy Dally. William Hensey, shout out to you, asking how everyone is tonight. And boom! Cody goes racing in straight after QT Marshall. Kick to the midsection and we are underway. Good to see Cody coming in with some fire and some energy. He's already got QT up. And Gutbuster. The Snoop Dogg theme needs to go, says Dom15. What happens if they go into the other ring? Do you know, I'm not too sure if the ref starts counting. I'm not sure. I mean, they can go into that other ring. It's not a problem. But I don't know if it gets classed. I don't know if the ref would start counting as if it's count out, or if the ref just regards it as one giant ring. I'd be interested. I don't know, actually. It's a good question. Cody took off his belt and went to whip QT Marshall, but didn't do it. Referee was having a word, and he's paying the price now. QT is in control. News breaking as well before we went live. Apparently, Tony Khan saying that Double or Nothing will have full capacity crowd 30th of May. So, full capacity crowd. So, that's going to be a big deal. QT obviously had Cody well scouted there. They're exchanging chops at the moment. Into the corner goes Cody. Big strike by QT Marshall. People also don't like Snoop's remix for Sasha's theme. Maybe Snoop shouldn't be doing music for wrestling. Rake at the back by Cody. Almost a quarter of a way through the show, you know. Almost a quarter of a way through the show. Okay, Cody going up top. QT Marshall jumping over, grabbing Cody, hurling him across the ring. Big spot right there. Deadlifts Cody, looking for a German. Gets the German. So, QT in control at the moment. As Cody rolls out of the ring and Arn Anderson is on the outside. QT Marshall jumps out of the ring as well. So, big steps, aren't they, on the way down to the ring. Big strike by QT Marshall. Grabs Cody. I wonder if those ring steps will get used at all. Like the steps going up to the platform. They're kind of significant. Arn Anderson getting in QT Marshall's face. And QT Marshall pushes Arn Anderson. Arn with a big strike to QT. The referee is telling Arn he's got to get out of here. But Arn is... how is this not a DQ? So the referee's telling Arn that he's got to leave ringside. Okay. Well, referee using his discretion and allowing the match to continue. But Cody's very lucky he didn't get DQ'd there. As Arn Anderson has been removed from ringside. Shoulder up by Cody. Stage, I don't know what it is, but the stage looks a little bit cluttered. Like there's a big platform in the center of the stage. And there's lights on the stage as well. Just, it looks a little bit cluttered. It's not a problem, I'm just saying. Doesn't normally look like that. Kick out by Cody. The refs in AEW suck, says Brony. Miss Clown 1 said no DQ because it's on flipping Anderson. That's fair. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. It's a fair point, well made. Cody goes outside the ring and he's got QT. Red Velvet is holding QT back so that Cody can get in a few strikes. Cody stepping inside the ring. QT back inside the ring. Daniel Bryan could go to Ring of Honor. He could go to Ring of Honor, yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Hell in a Cell. Is this match non-DQ? I think the ref didn't really see that Red Velvet was getting involved, so he didn't DQ it. Into the corner goes Cody. That's like the old Bret Hart spot, isn't it? Bret Hart used to love going chest first into those turnbuckles. Reminds me of that. I'm sure there was people that did it before Bret. QT looking to slingshot Cody into that bottom rope. Looks like he's going for it. Boom! Daniel Dragonson versus Danhausen. Driving all day, I'm so tired, I just can't sleep, says William. Lobster Fire says, I hate Cody's attire. It makes me cringe. Yeah, I must admit, I'm not a big fan. I'm just not. I don't like the colour, really. He looks a bit like an unmasked Power Ranger. Headbutt by Cody. Against the ropes. Ducks underneath the clothesline. They both cross-body each other. They both go down. So, neither guy really getting the advantage there. This match has been alright, you know. This match has been alright. I've probably preferred this to the Open. Big strike by QT. Days, that is a perfect analogy. Boom. Big shot by Cody. Cody against the ropes. Forearm smash. QT against the ropes. Big boot by QT Marshall. And Cody rolls out of the ring. Here we go. QT winding up. Goes against the ropes. Shoulder tackle by Cody. QT goes down. Cody going to slingshot over. Does. Looking for a sunset flip, but I don't know what's that. Why did he do that? Why did QT Marshall do that? For no reason. He pulled down his trunks. What was that? What was that for? They blurred it. But why did they do that? Why did he do that? Has he got a problem or something? In like, he gets the urge. Oh, I don't know why. For no reason. It was just like, right, let's pull these down. Darling, I've invited QT round. Oh, no. You know what he does. As soon as we get to dessert, he gets up and he pulls his trousers down. And honestly, it puts me right off my trifle. Right off my trifle. I'll never have hot dogs again. Back elbow by Cody. Went for a springboard back elbow. Ooh. 1, 2, got planted by QT. Moons over Jacksonville is what they said on commentary. QT getting a little bit cheeky tonight. Little bit cheeky. I think that's for Austin. I'm pretty sure just before he did it, he was like, Austin 316. This is for you. And then he did it. I swear that's what he said. I swear that's what he said. That's what I saw. He's got Cody up. Buckle bomb into the corner. Scoops him up again. Tombstone pile driver. Oh, but Cody reverses. But QT reverses. Cody reverses. Ooh, Cody hits it. Tombstone pile driver. 1, 2. Oh. QT kicked out of the tombstone. Rolling tombstones. It's a good match. Cody on his feet. QT on his feet. Crossroads. Crossroads hits. 1, 2. Oh, shoulder up. Shoulder up by QT. Woo! I thought that was it. I definitely thought it was over there. That was good. I agree. That was defo for Austin 316. Yep. You couldn't help it. He knew that Austin was watching. He sticks his finger up in the face of Cody. Cody very quickly puts on the figure 4. And QT screaming in pain right now. Middle of the ring. And is this going to be it? He's got nowhere to go, and he taps. Oh, I didn't realise that Cody had blood running down his face. Ooh, nasty. Quite a bit of blood there by Cody. Well, they said we've had the blood. Where's the guts? Where's the I was promised guts. We've got the blood. But where's the guts? Is Anthony Ogogo, who for some reason loves carrying around the flag. No idea why. Everywhere he goes, man, loves carrying around that Union flag. Better not get blood on that thing. There we go, drapes it over Cody. I mean, you love to see it, don't you? You love to see it. I think that means his ass now. I think legally that means he's British now. So, there we go. He's Sir Cody of Rhodes a lot. That's what he is. Sir Cody of Rhodes a lot. Oh, hello, Sir Cody. So now he's going to have bad teeth and drink lots of tea. Sir Cody of Rhodes a lot. So, yeah, very cool. I'd like to welcome him to our little family over here in the UK. He has to pledge allegiance to the Queen. We all serve the Queen over here. Not Beyonce. Linda McMahon. Right, we're backstage. I don't know why Cody was bleeding, to be honest. I don't know what happened or what caused the cut, but here we are. If this was WWE, they would totally try and put some CGI guts in. Yeah, like spinning in the sky or something, you know, like the birds or that rose for Angel Garza. There would be like CGI guts. Do you remember that CGI pirate they put onto the stadium at WrestleMania? Like the skeleton thing that was coming over the stand. That was cool, man. Not enough people talk about that. And by not enough people, I mean me. Don't talk about how cool that was. That was cool. There's people saying the British nightmare. Right, I'm not British, but I have a DC United soccer team baseball cap with both the US and UK flags. Okay. Well, I think that's good enough. I think that does actually make you British. And I'm saying that as a British person, so Darby Allin with oh. Where are they? Where? Coffin drop off that ladder, which was cool. They're on the upper concourse. Oh, they're right by some steps. Is he going down the steps? It's pretty moody, isn't it? Where is Sting? Not the stairs. Yeah. I kind of feel like, yeah, down the stairs he goes. Oh, that is moody. That is really moody. Yeah, man. He might. I mean, like that is moody. But it is kind of cool as well. Like in the sense of you don't. Do you know what I mean? Like Raw. This is Raw. You never know what you're gonna see, and you know, fighting on a concourse, getting chucked down steps. I mean, that is cool. Although I don't know if he's selling or if he's really injured here. Wow. Fair play, man. Fair play. He's getting back up to his feet, though, and he's trying to get over. He's sat down on the steps. There's someone checking on him at the moment, but that was a cool little moment. These two just looking on and laughing their heads off. Ethan Page chucking him down the steps for those not watching. Gorilla Glue. What do you mean? I don't understand why are we just watching this nothingness. Like we're watching Darby sitting on some steps whilst someone's checking him over. Yeah, why are we watching this for so long? Like that was a really cool moment, but like I'm ready to move on with my life now. Are we getting blood and guts, or are we just going to be sticking on this Guys, the rest of the show, we're just staying on these steps. We're staying on these steps with Darby Allin. Maybe, have you gone to commercial? Maybe you're on commercial, but on Fight, we're still on the steps with Darby. Yeah, guys, I'm getting reports that Blood and Guts has been cancelled, and we're actually going to be staying on the steps all night. It's going to be so good. And it's still going to be better than Raw. This is wrestling. This is wrestling. And honestly, still better than Raw. Darby, was he crying? I think Darby might have been crying. Is Darby crying? People are like, is Darby crying? I think Darby was crying. Ooh, I got thrown down the steps. Boo-hoo-hoo. Grow up, man. Yeah? Grow up. No, but seriously, it looked like it probably hurt. So, fair play. It's going to be blood and stairs. Yeah, no blood. Just stairs. AEW Dynamite. Stairs. That's it. Oh, did you watch that show, AEW Dynamite Stairs, where we spent the whole 2 hours on the stairs with Darby Allin? It was sick. And we saw Darby cry. Daze, you're making me cry at how ugly you are. What a burn. Sick burn. Hey, here's Dr. Britt Baker making her way out. I don't know who she's facing. I need a Darby update. I need to know if he's still crying. Right, Britt Baker. Her opponent is already in the ring. So it's going to be some jobber. Here's Reba. So Britt Baker making her way down to the ring. Reba telling people to shut up. Who is this girl? Who are you? Introduce yourself. DMD. Julia Hart making her debut. How old is she? 14. Julia Hart. Okay. Honestly, this girl looks young. Kicked to the midsection by Britt Baker. Okay. Julia looks like a high school cheerleader. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally like a high school Not like she's dressed like literally, if you told me that she was, I'd be like, yep, totally see that. Like, we should call her parents to make sure they know where she is. It might be too late for her. Like, you was meant to be home an hour ago, young lady. Oh, you think you're going on national TV wearing that, do you? I don't think so. Back to your room. This is child abuse. This is child abuse. Lockjaw. It might be over though. At least this might not last. There we go. She taps. Well, there we go. At least it was short-lived. Do you know what I mean? Well, there we go. Britt Baker getting a win. It was a squash. The match took all of 2 seconds. So what we've learnt there is that Britt Baker is able to beat up a high schooler. That's what we've learned. Alexa Bliss wears schoolgirl outfits. She's not a schoolgirl, though, is she? Like, Julia Hart might be. I don't know. Shida better not be watching. That's how she's gonna lose. Yeah. Britt Baker's gonna send Shida back to school as well. That's quite good. I was quite pleased with that. Apparently, the first hour is taped. The crowd are watching on the Titantron. Tony said that fans have got 45 minutes to get a refund if they're not happy with that. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Why is it taped? Why is it taped? If they were taping it, why didn't they just do one ring? Why what? Why have they taped this? I don't understand. Strange, very strange. Right, we've got this, I think this is our last match, isn't it? Eric Defcom Prime Dirigi says, Days Snoochie Boochies, Wrestling Days Snooches, you didn't hear this from me, but start buying Doc Ock Mock figures. Just saying, I got a tip. What are Doc Ock Mock figures? What is a Doc Ock Mock? I mean, Mock is mint on card, but what's Doc Ock? What is Doc Ock? Please respond. Right, this is the tag team fatal 4-way match. We got SoCal, we've got Jurassic Express, Varsity Blondes, and some other people. Some other people. They haven't come out yet. Cable company should offer us a rebate for how bad Raw is every Monday. Taboy said, I want Jurassic Express to win. William said, who won Blood and Guts? Nexus. It was wild. They came out and they knocked out in a circle. They jumped in and they won. You missed it all. It was so good. Shake your Tic Tacs. Right, yeah, it's the acclaimed. The acclaimed are coming out. They're doing a rap right now. You put the lame in acclaimed. Please don't rap, said one of them signs. If I went to a show with someone that had that sign, I'd be like, please don't show that sign. Please don't. Because, like, people are going to see me sat next to you and they're going to judge me and they're going to think that I played a part in that sign. And I don't want anything to do with this sign. You put the lame in acclaimed. Ah! Burn! Burn! I agree with that sign. Yeah, well, you would. You would, because you put the lame in this community. Ah, burn! I don't feel sorry for saying that, because Austin did get a little summit from QT Marshall earlier, didn't he, eh? Little sugar. Do. Oh, Austin. Right, we are underway with this match. Anyone else looking forward to Kingston turning on Moxley and the two of them feuding? They did feud, didn't they? They had a little back and forth. Spider-Man versus Doc Cock. What is Doc Cock? What is all this? I don't understand what it is. I don't know what it is. I feel, is it something to do with Marvel? I don't know. I didn't see Marco stunt. Marco stunts at ringside, but he's round the other side, and he can't really see over the ring. I'm not being disrespectful. Right, this whole match breaking down. We're about 10 minutes away from the halftime scores. Picture in picture, apparently, for you guys. Eminem has been really quiet since this rap verse. They did already feud, says Alexis. Days, is it Inner Circle versus Pinnacle versus Daniel Bryan? It is. Sandman versus Doc Ock. What is Doc Ock? Dr. Octopus is a Spider-Man villain. Right. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. There we go. Right. Thank you. Fun fact, I've never seen any of the Spider-Man films. None of them. I've seen that scene where he's upside down and he gets all smoochy. But I've never seen any of the films. And I don't want to, because he's a man, he's part man, part spider, and that just makes him a loser. Because I don't know many spiders that wear, like, red suits. So, yeah. Sucks. He's a poor man's Batman. Animal Kingdom. Yeah. What? Days, it's okay if you don't see this. I just wanted to say thanks for hosting the streams. It's all right, love and respect. Those kids act dumb. I did see it. It was appreciated. Shout out to you. AEW is using child labour, says Steven Anderson. I appreciate the use of that emoji. That is an underutilized emoji. So shout out to you, Steven Anderson. And look, followed up with NBA highlights with, I don't know what that would be. It looks like some sort of meat on the bone. Ham, maybe. Who can say? Spider-Man is a loser. Tell the kids. You must have seen the Bonesaw scene. I've not watched the whole of it, but I've seen, I've seen a clip of Macho Man being in it. Did you see Chris Benoit Dark Side of the Ring? Yes. We spoke about it when it aired. It's good. And I've seen the first episode of the Brian Pillman one, which was good as well. Very good. Right, the Acclaimed in control at the moment. Apparently the winners get a title opportunity next week. So, well underway with this tag match. It's not really doing it for me. But credit where it's due. This is a number one contenders match. And we have been criticising the fact that there's been a lack of them recently in WWE. But we've got one here. 1, 2. And kick out by Christopher Daniels. I like Spider-Man, but I don't need to see another origin story where they kill his Uncle Ben yet again, says John. Do you follow Cultaholic? I don't. I've nothing against Cultaholic. I'm aware of them, but I'm never really get any time to watch other channels, so I don't really go on to Wrestle Talk or Cultaholic or What Culture, but I'm aware of them all. And I have seen videos from them in the past, but I couldn't tell you. I don't even know who's on them channels anymore. SCU are already number one ranked. Why do we need a number one contenders match? It's a good question. One for Tony Khan. Ask one of the AEW bots that might stop by at one point. I think we're doing all right on that front, actually, aren't we? Thinking about it. Yeah! Right, Luchasaurus with Varsity Blondes. See, you've never heard of him. Prove my point. I'm excited for Spider-Man No Way Home. Is that where Spider-Man tries to find his way home? That could be fun. Did you watch the new Mortal Kombat movie? It's pretty good, says Simbarash. No. I haven't seen it because I don't have any intention to watch it. But I will watch it probably when it's on Netflix or something. I have nothing against Mortal Kombat. I used to play the game when it was on like the Genesis Mega Drive. So I like Mortal Kombat, but I wouldn't be going to the cinema for it, to be honest. It's not one that's going to get me going to the cinema. I don't know what would get me to go to the cinema, actually. I don't know what would get me to go to the cinema. Maybe a Cool Runnings sequel? Cool Runnings 2? I'd go to the cinema for that. Clothesline, Varsity Blondes looking to pin. Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy kicks out. Spider-Man Home Alone coming out at Christmas. Yeah, where Spider-Man just is a bit scared because he's on his own. Spider-Woman's left him alone. And Spider-Mom has left him alone at home. and he has to try and stop some thieves. Dr. Octopus tries to break him. And Squidward. On the outside goes Daniels. We've got Jungle Boy climbing up top. I want to see the last blockbuster on Netflix. Cooler run-ins, yes. Cooler run-ins. Jungle Boy up top. No one home. Clothesline. Kazarian with big clothesline. Varsity Blonde's almost stealing this. Daze, what are your thoughts on Eva Marie? Well, I'm not a fan. But I am going to give her a chance. And see if she's been away for a while. She might have learnt some stuff. I've not got high hopes. But we'll see. I mean, right now, she ain't done nothing wrong, has she? She's just come back. But SCU have won this, so it will be SCU next week. So SCU victorious. So yeah, I'm going to give Eva a chance. I want Peacock to see the documentary on Vladimir. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. I don't know when that is that on yet. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I love these documentaries that are still wrestling related, but they're just a little different. They did that Heaven, which was about the girl at high school that won the state championship. And now they're doing the Vlad one, which is really cool as well, about the super fan. So I really like these, where they're doing something a little bit different. So yeah, really cool. Just seeing Moxley and what he's done in New Japan. Nagata-san. Nagata is coming back to the USA. Very cool, isn't it, to see a New Japan advert on AEW. And seeing the IWGP United States Championship as well on his shoulder. It's very cool, actually. Very, very cool. Nagata was playable in WCW versus NWO Revenge. There's a great picture of Nagata actually in WCW. This guy is a legend. This is great. Great little video package. Blue Justice on AEW, says Heather. So next week on AEW Dynamite, IWGP US Champion Jon Moxley taking on Nagata. Right, and the wow, what a great cage. Fantastic structure. Looks really, really cool. Looks great. Right, Tony, so the cage is around the ring. Serious structure. There is the cage. I mean, in all fairness, you can see why the first matches were recorded, because that cage looks like it's going to have taken a little while to have set up. That doesn't look like a cage that you're going to construct quite quickly. They're bringing out all of the belts. So Nakazawa has got the Impact, the TNA, the AAA. Kenny is wearing the AEW. Right, we're going to find out who Kenny is going to be facing. The cage is probably... You can't lower that thing, yeah. I don't think you're lowering that. I don't even think Daly's place has got like a roof, really, has it? It might have, but I don't know that it's going to be able to support a cage. I'm pretty sure that's getting built. Who here is ready for an exciting match called Blood and Guts? Well, that makes one of us. Is Kenny not excited? Okay. He says, you see the gold around my waist? That AAA belt is nice. The Impact belt is trash. AEW belt's great. Now it's come to pass. Okay. He says, I'm not here for fun. I'm not here for games. In fact, I don't want to be here at all. Next week. 2 top contenders will go one-on-one. What? Pac versus Orange Cassidy. Why is Kenny putting over Pac? I'm not sure about this. Pac and Orange Cassidy fighting to be the ones to face Kenny. Here's Orange. Do the numbers suggest that Orange is the right person? I don't know. Pac or who? Daze, I just want to let you know I've not forgiven you for what you said about Triple H AJ earlier. Kenny versus Orange won't work. Pac has got to win, says Mr. Jack. Okay, so Kenny is laughing at the thought that Orange might be victorious. It might be Orange that wins, you know. They're chanting freshly squeezed. Orange is overrated, says Lone Star Friend. Hangman only has one loss in a long time. Pac versus Orange has already happened, says Lister Jericho. Pac versus OC sounds sweet. Sweet. I feel like Cassidy will beat Pac, but he's definitely not beating Omega, says J14. Scott Steiner says, numbers add up and they spell disaster for you. Get over this already, says Big Boy Dally. It's because everyone's loving Orange Cassidy, says Capsman. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Perhaps the numbers suggest that Orange Cassidy is the person the people want. He's not the person I would have chose. But, honestly, you're like, I bet it's going to be Hangman and Moxley. Maybe Eddie Kingston. Perhaps they'll do Eddie Kingston versus Moxley. And, like, the winner, they've got to fight each other. The winner gets Kenny or... Was not expecting Orange Cassidy against Pac. Come on, Orange, says Jared. I want Orange as AEW champ, says to Boy. What about Hangman, says Lone Star Friend. So, Kenny has got Orange's glasses. Joaquin said Omega versus Orange is Jim Cornette's wet dream. Apparently, BBC News is reporting a woman gave birth to 9 babies. How is that possible? This is a bit strange. I don't know. It's just all a bit weird. He's took his glasses and he's put the glasses on Nakazawa. Why is Britt Baker trending on Twitter? I don't know. Is she the one that had 9 babies? This is going on a little bit long, says Austin. It is going on a bit long. Are they having to kill time? Well, I don't know what's happening. The match is like 40 minutes long, and we need to kill some time here. In a sec, we're going to go back to the stairs and check on Darby Allin. This part is live. They're probably buying time. Coming up next, anyway, it's done. Coming up next, Inner Circle versus Pinnacle. Blood and Guts. I mean, look, in all fairness, the show's been alright. Some of the matches have been good. I thought the Cody match was very good. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's not been a bad show, but it's all about this match, isn't it? It's all about what's coming up next. Next. Days, can you say Razor Ramon, please? Odd request, I know. Razor Ramon, please. Green is, they're killing time. It's a bad first half, says Andres Lopez. Well, get in your halftime scores. Halftime scores, we're at commercial break. It's a bit of a weird one because this is built around the match that's just about to start, but might as well do it anyway. Put in your halftime scores. What did you think of that first half? Was you happy? Was you sad? Let us know. Asuka should go to Impact because no one watches Impact, says Trump and Biden JPG. How does a Blood and Guts match work? Well, I think it is exactly as a War Games, isn't it? Someone starts off. Sammy, I think, starts off. Didn't Sammy say he was starting? So Sammy and someone will start. Then, after so long, another member of Pinnacle will come in. Then another member of Inner Circle. Then a member of Pinnacle. So Pinnacle, I think, are always going to have the advantage. And the match officially starts when everyone is in the ring. So I think it is the same as War Games. They just can't call it War Games. Is the wardrobe malfunction in the Cody match the biggest talking point so far? Maybe. Austin says 6.5. Taboy says 5. LSW says 7.75. Noah is Wrestling says 6.5. Lucas says 6.5. Broken Dreams says 5. Grant Jameson said 6. Jordan says 6.5. Dave in Real Life said 6 Moonies out of 10. They should have called it AEW Games of War. They should have called it that. Games of War. 7.5 says Jay. 5 says Brandon. Michael says 9. Johnny says 20. Jitin said if Pinnacle is not going to win, Pinnacle has just got to stop. It's just got to stop. Stop. 3 out of 5 said those kids act dumb. Rated R Wrestling says 8. Wrestling Figure Danny says 8. Pretty good, but I wish the first match was just Kenny and John. 7.5 says Jay. Brony with a 6. Brennan with a 5. We are going back to the action. Here we go. Oh. The most dangerous man in AEW. Right, we've got to kill more time. Get Miro out there. Get Miro out there. We've got to kill more time. Oh, is there any way we can have Kenny talk about them sunglasses a bit longer? No. Okay. Is Darby still on the steps? No. Where's Miro? Get Miro out there. It's a backstage panic right now. Seven days. Darby Allin. So it's going to be Miro against Darby Allin. Miro's going to be a good challenger, isn't he, for Kenny in the future? Although he's acting as a heel, isn't he? So maybe not. But it's funny, isn't it, that they've got someone like Miro, big name, great look, can wrestle, can really cut a good promo. He's got a lot of skills. And when they were talking about trying to figure out the number one contender, his name just did not feature in my mind at all. Not at all. I was thinking Hangman. I was thinking Moxley. I was thinking Kingston. I was not thinking about Miro at all. Orange Cassidy is ranked number 1, apparently, in the rankings, against Pac, who's ranked number 2. Next week is stacked, isn't it? Young Bucks against SCU. SCU will break up if they lose. Jade Cargill getting interviewed by Tony as well. Cody's going to make an announcement next week. We've got the IWGP Championship match as well. And coming up, we've got Inner Circle taking on Pinnacle. Coming up next. Looks really cool with the cage. Looks solid. Let's get on with the match. Blood and Guts needs real blood and guts. Blood and Guts begins with one member from each team for a 5-minute period. After the 5 minutes have expired, one member of Pinnacle will enter, giving them a 2-on-1 advantage. Once all 10 have entered the cage, the Blood and Guts match officially begins. The only way to win is to make your opponent submit or surrender. Referees will be stationed around the ring. Now, I'm going to repeat what I say about War Games matches. I hate this first part of them because nothing Nothing happens. So we have to wait like ages for everyone to get into the ring, and when everyone's in, then the match starts. So all the stuff that happens before is irrelevant. No one can win, and I know everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, but you can get an advantage. No, because in every War Games match I've seen, when the match starts, at some point both teams are going to have moments, so no one gets a real advantage. It's just awful time filler. So I hate the first part of these matches. Why does someone get an advantage in these matches? Why does someone get an advantage? Makes no sense. These are two teams that want to rip each other apart, right? Now, I understand that you might not want to throw them both in at the same time, but why can't you count down the 5 minutes? So why don't you start with one person from each team? Fine. And then the clock counts down, and as soon as 5 minutes is up, there's a door either side, and one member from each team can then go in, and then you've got 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. Like, why? Why does a team get an advantage? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I don't get it. More tag teams in the 4-way than the whole of WWE TV, says Eric Defcon Prime Dirigi. Yes. Subway is making large pizzas now. Stop. Breaking news. Breaking news coming in from Cheese Whiz. Subways are now making large pizzas. I could go for a large pizza, actually. Do you know what? Think about it. I don't know the last time I had a proper takeaway pizza. I know that's like completely random, but yeah, I'd love one of them. Got Domino's on my mind now. Now I'm dreaming of Domino's. And we're at commercial break, by the way. I hope there's no commercials in this match, says Johnny. I haven't heard, actually, if they've managed to avoid putting any commercials in. We've got one right now. So we are just waiting at the moment. But yeah, hopefully when we're up and running, we'll be commercial free. But we are just at commercial right now. We saw MJF come out. That's pretty much as far as we'd got. I bet a Subway pizza would be gross, says Jordan. I've never had one. They don't do them here. You can't get pizzas from Subway in the UK. Or at least you couldn't. Haven't been to Subway in a couple of years, so maybe things have changed. Don't know. Subway pizza. No, thank you, says Seth. Alright, looks like the reviews are in. Looks like it's not gone down well for Subway. So Subway, if you are watching, do better. Eat fresh. Alright, we're just seeing Blood and Guts sign. We're seeing a very pumped up, very passionate crowd. Sammy Guevara is making his way out with Inner Circle. Face paint's cool, isn't it? Face paint's cool. On Santana and Ortiz. I could see that being like a really cool pack from Jazzwares, where they make a pack of Inner Circle in their Blood and Guts attire. They're in like boiler suits, like prison wear, isn't it? Really, black boiler suits. Look kind of cool. Oh, flip. Can't listen to... Forget that. The LAX face paint is back. It looks really cool. I've just put my teddy bear to bed. It's been a long day, says Kevin. That's good, mate. You don't want your teddy bear watching this, let me tell you. This is going to be brutal. Going Ghost said there is a city in Texas where if you order Domino's, a robotic car delivers the pizza to you. They are testing it in that market. That is insane. I would love to see little pizza cars driving all over the place. Little robot pizza cars driving everywhere. Right, Sammy is starting this one for the Inner Circle. Getting strong Gorillas of Destiny vibes from Santana and Ortiz. I don't know what penitentiary it says on the back. I was trying to read what the text said on the back of these boiler suits, but we've got Sammy starting for Inner Circle. We got Dax starting for Pinnacle. I'm into this. I'm into this more than much more than Stadium Stampede, and we're underway. Sammy launches himself at Dax. Clothesline, and Dax goes down to the clothesline. They're fighting in the left ring. I mean, not that it matters. They can fight anywhere they want. They're inside the locked structure. I think there is a bit of a gap. No, is there? Or is the cage right on the ring? I think. Backflip, drop kick by Sammy, impressive. Dax going against the ropes. So I think 5 minutes, and then there'll be another member of Pinnacle that comes in. Big spine buster by Dax. Going for the pin, but what are you doing? Do you not know the flipping rules? How do you not know the rules? How do you not know the rules? He went for the pin. The match hasn't even started right now. Strike in the corner. Big chop by Dax again. He's got Sammy in the corner. Sammy chopping back. He's been in the match before. Why is he going for the pin, says Broken Dreams? I don't know. I thought he knew wrestling. I thought he prided himself on his wrestling knowledge and his wrestling history. Oh, that's cool. Dax goes into the camera that's set up on the corner of the ring. They've done a really good job with Sammy, actually. I mean, like, I'm starting to get into Sammy a lot more than I used to. I was never really that keen on Sammy. When he was feuding with Matt Hardy, I didn't like him. But kind of since he took some time away because of his comments and tweets from his past and whatnot, and he took some time away and he came back, he's been a bit better. I'm trying to think if that was before or after the Matt Hardy thing. I can't quite remember. But either way, what he's doing right now, this is probably the most I've been engaged with Sammy Guevara. I've never been a fan of him before. Dax over in the corner, right over by the Pinnacle side of this structure. We've got just over half an hour to go. All of the Pinnacle in white and blue. That must be their colour scheme. It looks really nice. Looks really good. So we've got... oh, man. Dax is getting thrown into the side of this structure. Big clothesline. He gets clothesline back into the ring. Sammy Guevara stepping between the ropes. Apparently 30-odd seconds left, that's all. Oh, look, we've got more nudity! More nudity! What is this show? All nude wrestling. AN-dub, is that what we've got now? All nudes wrestling? Great stunner. Sith Skywalker said $5 for 5 guys walking out of this match successful. Careers will forever be changed from this moment on. This is history. Had to see it with Dave. Shout out to you, bud. It's, do you know what? I honestly thought that it was going to be Cash that would come in next. Because that would make sense, having the Revival, FTR together. But it's not. They've put Sean Spears in there. So Sean Spears comes in. They look really good in their ring attires. The white looks really smart. It's not a very heelish colour, though, is it? I'm surprised that the heels are in white. Ironic. The heels are in white. The faces are in black boiler suits. Strange. But Sith Skywalker, shout out to you. Appreciate the kind words. And this is going to be a very, very fun match. Blood already pouring down the face of Dax. And the chairman with a chair. He just used that chair on Sammy, and he looked very satisfied. He had a look on his face that is normally only achieved when Peyton Royce is in the same room. He was very satisfied. Ortiz comes in with a chair of his own. So, Ortiz unloading on Dax. Dax with blood. We've got a bit of blood on the go. No guts yet, guys. I'll keep you updated with the guts. Chair shot to the back of Dax. So, didn't take 5 minutes to get the next person in, did it? It must only be like a couple of minutes. Which, in fairness, is a bit better. Chair getting thrown on Dax. Match doesn't start until everyone is in the match. So, all of this right now is just mega lols. This is just mega lols. We've got Sean Spears and Sammy Guevara both jumping up onto the top. Chair to the buttocks. Spanish fly. Wow, that was moody. Sean Spears took a chair to the buttocks and then got hit with a Spanish fly. Big strikes by Dax, taken down by Ortiz. AEW chants from the crowd. Sammy Guevara crashed and burned. He tried, in the background, he's like, ah! He tried to springboard and he was like, oh, I'm going down! Oh, man. Hey, look, it's called high risk for a reason. I mean, at least he got some out of it. He springboarded off and it was like, I'm going down, and down he went, but at least he managed to, like, claw out and grab Ortiz slightly, but largely he did just plant himself in the middle of the ring. And, you know, in many times in life, we are our own worst enemies. And that's exactly what Sammy was there. He was his own worst enemy. I mean, honestly, that's probably the biggest diss to Pinnacle, isn't it, if you think about it? You guys are not good enough to beat us up. You can't beat us. I'm going to have to do it to myself. Sammy getting thrown into the edge of the ring, into the cage right now. So we've got Cash Wheeler in there, Dax in there, Sean Spears in there, Ortiz and Sammy. I need to see that replay of Sammy. It's the way his arms were like flailing as well in the background. Bless. I still like him. I like him even more now. Sean Spears has got the sharpshooter on Sammy. Into the edge of the cage. And oh, wow. That's cool. He actually goes down. There's a gap, a slight gap. The cage goes down to the floor, but it's quite snug against the ring. And Ortiz has actually gone down that gap. You're not getting that back. He's gone. Forget him. Santana, unload him. This is awesome, said Crispy King. Ortiz is dead. This is brutal. Planted. Uranagi. So, 3-on-3, but one of the members is trapped. Lost. One of the members is lost. Inside this steel cage structure, one of the members of Inner Circle has got lost. I think he's managed to get back into the ring. Oh, that one's back. Another one's gone! Another one's gone! They love it down there! That's where they love to hang out. Big chop by Sean Spears. Another chop. I already said, but Sammy has taken so many shots to the head in his AEW career. I think he's really concussed. Maybe. Sleeper hold applied here. By... I think it's Ortiz. Yeah. Right, Sammy down in the corner with Sean Spears putting his boot on his... neck, and Dax kicking out. We've got 10 seconds to go. Blood coming down the face of Cash Wheeler. So quite a bit of blood coming down the face. And here comes Wardlow. This is the guy that I personally would have like really emerging victorious in this. This is the guy that I would have, like, standing tall right at the end. I think this whole thing should be to, like, really build him up. He's big, he's athletic. He's standing in the ring and no one's attacking him. He's just standing there with his arms out. Is calling the Inner Circle over to him, and the Inner Circle 3-on-1. Sammy charges over Ortiz, Santana. He's trying to fight them all off, and he's managed to do that. Of course, he is the fresh man at the moment. He looks great. Big clothesline is dealing with these. Joaquin said Wardlow looks like $1 million. He does. He looks great. The way he was standing there and beckoning them on, he looked really cool. And because these three are tired, it's not too unrealistic that he'd be able to fend them off. He's a killer anyway. He's the fresh guy. And his ring attire looks great as well. The white, it looks so crisp. Hager is about to join, so we are getting towards the end of the members. I think there's just 2 members left. MJF for Pinnacle and Jericho for Inner Circle. We just need the leaders to make their way in. But it's been a very enjoyable match. Very enjoyable. Hager charging over. Colliding into... Big boot. Huge boot. Big clothesline. Hager. Oh, big splash. Big Hager bomb. Now, ankle lock applied to Cash. So, Cash... Oh, no, is that Cash or was that Shawn Spears? Couldn't quite see, but it looks like we've got Hager in the one ring. Wardlow in the other. And Wardlow is making his way over. These two didn't... they never like... Oh, they both strike at each other at the same time. And Hager getting slightly better at that exchange. Bit of blood, I think, on the face of Hager. Up over the top. Lands on his feet. Grabs the hair of Wardlow. Into the cage goes Hager. Straight to the midsection. Knees by Hager. The cage has got quite a bit of give in it, hasn't it? Like when you lean against it, there's a danger that you really could fall down. Collides into Hager. Final member of Pinnacle about to enter. That person going to be MJF. Here is MJF. The cage looks great. It does. Hager is a real cage fighter. I can't believe I'm cheering, Jake Hager, says Heather. Is Ortiz still stuck like a 2K glitch? No, I think he's up now. Good chop block. MJF goes over to the corner. Puts his arms in the air. Takes a moment to soak up the admiration of the crowd. But we're not far away from Jericho coming in. Jericho, the final person. As soon as Jericho's in the match begins. It'll be the end of the Mega Lols phase of the match. And the actual match will begin. Look at the blood there. That is quite a lot of blood. How's he got so busted open? He's got his eye closed there, Cash Wheeler. I don't know why they're so bad. Yeah, he's gushing blood. He is absolutely gushing blood. Retribution, shout out to you, buddy. Hope everyone's enjoying the match. I think it's really, really good. Really enjoyable. It's been hard hitting. It's been no nonsense. It's been no silly, like, comedy during this. This is just a proper cage match. This is just two teams that hate each other, that are just trying to rip each other apart. They've really gone at it. And it's been... Look! No one's got the advantage! No one's got the advantage! What's the point? What is the point of that first part of this match? Ah! I mean, it was cool. But, like, right now, we've got... One ring's got Inner Circle. The other ring has got Pinnacle. No one's got the advantage. And it's just an all-out brawl. And the bell has sounded, by the way, and we are underway. I think the crowd are chanting, "This is awesome." It's a nice little moment where the two teams were staring at each other. Two tribes go to war. Baseball back to the back of Shawn Spears. Spears trying to climb up that cage. You haven't seen anyone climb the cage yet. Jericho climbing up the cage as well. Shawn Spears is being pushed into the scaffolding. Is he giving him a wet? Is he going to give him a wet willy? Give him a wet willy! Spears is just tangled up a little bit in there. You can get free from that. Oh, picture in picture? It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Doesn't matter. Jericho taking a bit of a breather. They're just showing people down. Jericho grabbing a chair. Smacks Wardlow with it. I don't really want to see Wardlow down like this, to be honest. I'd rather Wardlow was like standing tall. Was looking quite good over in a corner somewhere. Suplex right on the edge of the ring. By, I think it's Cat. It's so hard to see who these people are. No one's really in control. There's Pinnacle members that are doing well. There's Inner Circle members that are doing well. No one's really got any kind of advantage at the moment. Jericho looking to hit a suplex. No, wow. Just hurls MJF onto that top rope. What is he doing? Is the ring has been ripped now. The boards have been exposed in the one ring. It looks like Shawn Spears is undoing the top ropes. So it looks like he's undoing the top set of ropes. So it looks like the actual rings are being took apart. Floorboards are being exposed on the wooden boards on the ring, the left-hand ring. Spears is undoing, the ropes. It's just carnage, man. So, they're being exposed. We've still got Wardlow and Hager battling out in the other ring. This is what you call a death match, says Kish. Into the side of the cage goes Santana. So Santana right up against the side of the cage. Everyone seems knackered, shattered, which is totally understandable. Everyone's in the left-hand side as well, apart from Hager and Wardlow. They're still battling out in the right-hand ring. The top rope hasn't been undone. It's just been loosened. I don't know what's been achieved by that. I don't know why he's done that. I don't quite get what he's done. Or I think he's still trying to do it, actually. It does matter. It's just carnage. There's blood. There's exposed ring boards. It's just carnage. Here we go. FTR have got Santana and Ortiz. They're trying to pile drive them onto those ring boards. They couldn't quite do it. Reversed. Oh, and it's FTR that get planted, driven into those exposed boards. I think Shawn Spears has now took off that top rope. And he's managed to do nothing with it. After all of that, he was stood there with it in his hand. He ended up getting kicked and went down. Oh. Honestly, in the debrief after, I'd be like, what was you thinking? It took you about half an hour to undo them, and then you had it in your hand, you got kicked, and you did nothing with it. You're a disgrace. You've let this team down. Looks like Sammy's going to go coast to coast. Oh, and he does. Coast to coast on... Was that Wardlow? No, I think Wardlow's over the other side. Was that Shawn Spears? MJF? I don't know. It's Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears, coast to coast by Sammy. Right, Jericho's got that top rope turnbuckle. I really don't think undoing that was worth it. This is good. This is one of the best big AEW matches. You know, one of those big matches that they build for a while. It's one of the best big AEW matches I've seen. Blood coming down. What's he got? A fork? Jabs him with a fork. And there's blood coming down the head of MJF. So very much Pinnacle are not in great shape right now. So Jericho has got Wardlow, is choking him with the baseball bat. It's all Inner Circle right now. It's looking very good for Inner Circle. Why does he keep licking that? Doesn't he know about COVID? What's going on? There's blood everywhere and he's jabbing the fork into people. He keeps going... Honestly, have something to eat before you get inside the ring. Vape Ross Vape says, Abby. Jericho smacks MJF and MJF goes down. The pace of this is quite slow now. It's quite methodical. It's like Inner Circle are just going around destroying all the different members. They're not going for the pin yet, though. They're not looking to get a victory yet. They're still destroying people, but yeah, it's not looking good for Pinnacle. Wardlow, though, back to his feet. Wardlow trying to dish out some punishment. Trying to do what he can. Trying to fight these off on his own. Wow! Sammy got some height. Wardlow trying to do what he can here. Trying to buy some time for his team. Here we go. Chair, though. Across the back. Santana, Ortiz working together. Working on Wardlow. He's back up to his feet in the middle. Little bit botchy there. He's managed to get Hager up on his shoulders. Chair to the midsection. Big chair strike. Big clothesline. It's kind of... I mean, like... right now, it feels like the match has lost its focus. I don't know. Are we at commercial break or something? Because right now, it's just all Inner Circle. Wardlow's tried to stand up to Inner Circle. He didn't succeed. Pace of it is very slow. Catapult into the ropes. I kind of feel like this match could end now, to be honest. Like, we've seen him do a lot of stuff. There's exposed boards. The ring ropes have been undone. Inner Circle are very dominant. Pinnacle are absolutely destroyed. Did we run out of high spot moves, says those kids act dumb. I don't know. Yeah, the momentum did definitely fall away. It's been a few minutes here where it's just been just really in a circle, just beating them up. Strikes from Jericho to MJF. Still been very, very good. Very, very good. On the outside, we've got Tully dealing with an official. Tully has stole the key, so I don't know what's happening here. MJF has climbed out and he's climbing up. Jericho's going up. Okay, so MJF has climbed up and gone on top of the cage. Jericho's going to go up after him. It is a break. This is a hard match to pull off on TV. Oh, okay. Right. That is a shame. Oh, it's a shame this match is having to deal with commercials because you could really feel the energy had gone. The energy had gone from the match. Yeah, now the energy's picked up a little bit more. So I think they were kind of taking a breather during the commercial. I can understand it. Jericho's just taken forever to climb up this thing. Jericho's climbing up. We've got MJF on top of the cage. Jericho's climbing up on top of the cage. Picture in picture. What's the point in having a cage if they can escape? Well, they're not meant to be able to escape, are they? Tully steals the key. We've got MJF and Jericho on top. So these two leaders, obviously Jericho wanting some revenge on MJF. I don't know if there's going to be a big spot or is MJF going to get thrown over the side or I don't know. So if he taps, it's over. Low blow by MJF. Low blow to Jericho. Jericho goes down to his knees. He was in the walls and blood pouring down his face. To be Mankind, is there going to be a Mankind? No, it wouldn't be as epic. They should CM Punk go to AEW. I don't know. I don't know if he fancies it, to be honest. If he wanted to go, he easily could have gone, couldn't he? There's something not quite right there in regards to, I don't know if it's the money or he doesn't like the booking or doesn't think he'll be used right or doesn't think there's big matches for him or I'm not sure. But they've reached out to him. MJF with an armbar on Jericho. The match has got to the point where it's just teasing, is someone going to tap or not on top of the roof? Stomped by MJF. Energy has left this match for about 10 minutes, says Harley. Do you know, I don't disagree. I think it had. I think it was really good. The match then started. We had some great moments when they were ripping up the ring. You're like, this is crazy, but I don't disagree. The energy did leave the match. Like, the match just feels too long. And, like, we're now just totally... This might as well just be a one-on-one match. Like, we're not even looking at what's happening in the ring. We're just focused on MJF and Jericho on the roof. Oh, is that why that raised platform's there? Because he's going to look to throw Jericho off onto the platform. This concrete stage? It's a concrete stage? Guys, you need to know that's a concrete stage. What's JR gonna say? He's got a family, damn it! Guys, that platform they've added to the stage that's not normally there. That's a concrete stage, Sammy says don't do it. Inner Circle have given up. Wait, I'm pretty sure he's still going to go for a ride. He's going to throw him off anyway, yeah. I think that's an underwhelming ending. Sammy could have just catched Jericho. Guess there's no guts. Butterspark said he'll throw him off anyway. That was a rubbish finish, says Dave. No. Not through the concrete stage. Oh, look at the concrete! He's gone right through the concrete! Even JR just sounds like he doesn't care. Good God almighty. He's broken his back. Even JR sounds like he doesn't care. If you compare, like, the moment with the moment with Undertaker and Mankind and everything, he's got a family to stop the damn match and all of this, compared to what JR just said then. Oh, he broke his back. That has not had the impact they wanted. Why do they have to do that? I don't understand. Why? The match was really good. The match was really, really good. They were beating the daylights out of each other. Didn't need to go up on the roof. Didn't need that. You've pushed Jericho into a crash mat. I don't know. I don't really have... I mean, like, I lack the ability to... Like, he's pushed him into a crash mat. Tough one to... JR has lost his excitement. Do you know, I it's so frustrating because... I was really enjoying this match. I genuinely was. If there's hardcore AEW fans watching, I was into this. I really was enjoying it. And it's still not turned out horrific, right? It's still not turned out horrific at all. Like, it's still really... I'm still going to be quite favourable towards it. I just think the end... I think the commercials have hurt it for me because, like, it took the energy out of the match. And the end just sucked. And it's not how I would have ended it, because I think Wardlow should have been standing tall. Come on, it's terrible, says Jitin. Another bad ending to a highly anticipated match. They could have made a cheap box out of wood, placed the mat halfway down instead of placing paper over the mat. Days MLW is doing a draft with several companies, including WWE. That's interesting. Do you know what, right? I'm not... let me know. Let me know about the match. Out of 5, what do you give the match? I'd be very, very interested in what... Don't bother scoring the show, right? Because largely, whatever, it's the match that matters, really, more than the show. What do you think about the match? Out of 5, what do you give that main event? I'm very, very interested of what people think about that match. What do you give the match? We're done with AEW, by the way. We are going to flip over to 1. 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 4 out of 5. Let's go up. 2.4 says Lone Star Friend. Future Compilation says 3. Jitin says 2. Lister Jericho says 2.5. Anthony says 2. Alexander says 4.5. Notorious Nightmare Switchblade says 4. Alfred says 4. Mr. Robot says 2.5. Austin says 3. Red Hood says 3. Seth says 3. Brad says 3. Jimmy says 3.75. Cubs fan says 3. Lisa says why AEW? Solid 3.5. It did what it needed to. It would have been a 4 with a better finish, says J Brock. Bonkers says 3.25. Josh says 1 out of 5 due to the camera angle showing Jericho telling MJF to throw him off. I did see him saying something, but I didn't see him say, like, throw me off. Because why would he say that? Surely they've agreed that behind the scenes. So why would he tell him to do that? Oh, hang on. Also, have we got one? Is there no one championship this week? Is it a week off for one? Watch in HD 15th. And I don't think there is a one championship this week. Oh, okay. I'm on their website. There's nothing there. They're advertising the 15th of Saturday, the 15th of May as their next one. I'll check their Twitter. Solid 3 out of 5. We read that. Let's go down. 2 out of 10, says Brandon. 1 isn't on TNT tonight, says Brad. Okay. I don't think there is one. Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, we'll watch it when we can, but obviously if it's not on, then so be it. I really like the match. The fork was crazy. Jericho falling was a little too slow developing, but was really cool, says Grant. 2 out of 10, says Brandon. 3 out of 5, says Brony. 4.5. I enjoyed the ending, the Pinnacle win, which was needed. MJF forces Sammy to surrender for his leader. MJF still throws him off. Gets MJF more heat. What's not to like? Alex says, Bully is fuming that Naka was hold over promotions world titles. He said perception is important. He's fuming that Nakazawa was carrying other promotions world titles. 2.75. This is not your father's Mick Foley cage match out of 5. 3.5. The ending hurt. Otherwise, it would probably have been a 4 to 4.25. Daniel says 4.5. Yeah, I read that one. I was going to give it a 7.25 out of 10. But then the ending happened, so I'm going to give it a 7. Jay says 3.75 out of 5. 3.5, 3.5. I'm really trying to like AEW. Then they do things like this. I don't get it, says Fabulous Disaster. Daniel says 2 out of 5. The ending was a little bit cringe. I mean, it's like literally everyone's talking about the ending. Which I honestly don't disagree with. I really think that I understand that, Jericho being put in peril, the rest of his group not wanting, but the problem is you can see it's a crash mat. You can see that if he gets thrown off, he's gonna be fine. It's a crash mat. Like, if it was like a barbed wire bed, if the fall was quite great, and it was all barbed wire that was below, and Jericho was bleeding anyway, and maybe then you could have had a little bit more drama into it. I mean, it's very, very difficult when we've seen Mick Foley doing Mick Foley things. It's hard to recreate something like that. He got thrown off, went crashing through an announce table, kind of went over by the barricades, had a tooth sticking through his nose and all of this. Like, when Mick Foley has gone to those lengths, it's very hard to do anything that's going to match that. And so then to kind of do it with a crash mat and make it seem like, I don't know, something that you would get at like a toddler's party. Do you know what I mean? It's like a bouncy castle's down there waiting for him. So I don't know that it gets MJF any heat, because you just, in the end, you just go, oh, it's just a bit lame. So I don't know. I don't know why they've done it. The match was brutal. Like, you've got this brutal match with loads of blood and loads of spots and exposed ring boards and all this kind of stuff, and the match itself is good. Then you've got the commercial, sucks the life out of the thing. I understand in America you've got picture-in-picture, but for me, I don't. For me, we're still watching this match, and honestly, there's just people walking around quite slow. The pace completely falls away. It is as if they've, like, we don't know what's next, or we don't know what we're doing next, or we're killing a bit of time, or what do we do now? We've done everything. And then it builds towards, like, the match is still carrying on in the ring, and you never see what's happening in the ring. It's not like we're cutting into the ring to action there, and then we're going back to the top. Like, it's literally, we're just watching what's happening between Jericho and MJF. We don't see what's happening in the ring with the rest of the stuff. I mean, someone could be pinning or submitting, or anything could be happening there, but we're not seeing it, because instead we're on the roof. And then, you've got, like, teases. I don't need Jericho looking at the crowd going, shall I go up? Shall I go up? Like, it turns into a pantomime. Shall I go up? Yeah! Do you know what I mean? Sing Judas again if you want me to climb up. And then, like, he climbs up, and then we get the, shall I tap? Like, it goes from this, like, ignoring the crowd, brutal match. Like, I feel like it goes from a 1980s War Games, brutal, Jim Crockett Promotions type, just horrific encounter, one of these great, brutal matches. It goes from that to a pantomime. It turns from a brutal match to a pantomime. And the end, like, I would say as soon as we get to that commercial and the pace falls away, and then we get, like, Jericho pandering to the crowd and shall I tap or not, and crash mats, and you just go, this is just, they had something so great, and then they put that ending on. So I think, yeah, I agree with a lot of what people were saying. I think this was like a 4-star, maybe even 4.25 with, what we were getting. We've seen so much of this, it's hard to be original now. It's hard to show me anything that's going to make me go, wow, this is 5 stars, because we've seen this match so many times, seen so many War Games now. It's hard. But what they were doing was great. They were doing War Games really well. That's what they was doing. They was doing a really good War Games match. So credit where it's due. The ending lets it down. So I agree, it's probably about a 3 in the end. I don't know what Meltzer will say. Might give it 5 stars. And I'm sure there's AEW fans wetting themselves. And if they enjoyed it and they loved it, that's great. That's what it's all about. So if there's people out there that loved it, don't let anything we're saying dissuade you. You love it, you enjoy it, because that's what it's all about. And I hope that there are AEW fans out there that did enjoy this. But I do think that non-AEW fans are going to be critical of the ending in particular. And I'm someone that enjoys AEW, but I'm quite happy to say, yeah, that ending wasn't great. Going Ghost said AEW tries to recreate bigger spots, for example, a barbed wire match. Now they tried to have a Mankind moment, but it ruins the match. It is true. It is true. I don't think they needed to try to have... Like, you don't need to have the crash mat fake, say, extra stage thing that's never normally there. Like, you don't need to have that there and try to book, let's throw someone off the top or whatever. Like, I honestly think if you're not going to do it better than what we've seen before, don't do it. If you're not going to be able to match or better what's happened in the past, don't do it. And that in no way comes anywhere near close to, like, the Mankind thing in particular. I mean, that is the mountaintop, isn't it? That is the gold standard. What everyone is like, the big OMG moment when you talk cage matches. Mankind getting thrown off the top is it. And this is just not even in that league. Let's go. I want to go down and get a few final thoughts. Grant said, I'm looking forward to Pac versus Orange Cassidy next week. We need a Cassidy title reign. Daniel said, the ending might not have been everyone's cup of tea, but the actual in-ring was brilliant. I agree. Wardlow was presented as a beast for the Pinnacle. The ads ruined them. I agree with that, Daniel. I think the actual in-ring stuff at the start was really good. Ironically, the bit that I was like, why do they do this? Why does the match start like when everyone gets in, whatever? Like, that pre-match stuff was probably the best part of it. So, they made getting thrown off a cage look quite fun. Yeah, you could do that at, like, Access. You know, if ever there's, like, an AEW Access, like, you could jump on top of that and we'll chuck you off into, like, onto a crash mat waiting below. PW Insider are reporting that Bryan has told WWE he wants to help open forbidden doors. Interesting. Very interesting. I think NXT was better this week, but it was close, says Big Boy Dally. 9.10, my favourite match from AEW, and it was my favourite Dynamite. Alex says, my first ever AEW is now watched. It's a 4 out of 10. Maybe I'm being bitter. Didn't help, but I found myself complaining. I tried, and it just isn't for me. Those kids act dumb. Shout out to you. Meltzer will give it 6 stars. Well, look, I have to come back to... Chris says, Days, how are you complaining about crash mats? Do you want them to kill the man? Don't do it then! Don't do it! No one asked! No one asked for him to get thrown off the top. Why are you complaining about crash mats? Do you want him to get killed? No! Don't do it! Don't do it! If you can't do it, if you're not going to do it to a standard where it's going to look actually impressive, and it's going to actually add to the match, and you're not going to have a load of people going, well, that was cringe, don't do it! Like, just don't do it. The in-ring stuff was great. Like, the stuff they were doing in the match was brutal. They were exposing the boards. There was blood. There was, like, really good action. Loads of stuff happening everywhere. And it's like, it got to a point where, like, they could have just, for me, I would have booked it where, you know, you've got Wardlow looking quite strong. Maybe he wasn't the focus throughout the whole match, but, you know, there's some nice moments with Wardlow in this match. I would have had him in the corner, you know, dominating someone, but being out the way. And then you kind of get down to the fact it's like him and a couple of inner circle people. He manages to deal with them, gets the win on his own. You got Wardlow, do you know what I mean, who's got victory for the Pinnacle. And I think that would have been a great ending. Like, you did not need to leave that cage at all. Nothing was gained by leaving that cage. I mean, the only thing you're going to get is people maybe sharing Jericho being thrown off the top of the cage on social media, but I honestly think there's going to be as many people that were underwhelmed with that finish as there will be, maybe even more people underwhelmed with it as there will be AEW fans that are going to defend it. And honestly, I'm going to go back to what I said before. If you enjoyed it, that's great. That is great. I really don't want to be, like, you know, telling people what they should and shouldn't enjoy, but I will be quite happy to share my thoughts on things and be very honest in saying, if you're not going to do it to a standard where it actually looks impressive and it actually adds to the match, don't do it. And AEW need to learn that lesson, because there's quite a few times where they've done stuff that just doesn't add to the match. I really hate when they do the multi-person spot outside the ring and everyone stands there waiting for someone to come falling down on top. I hate that spot. It doesn't add to a match. It doesn't look impressive. JR has spoken out about that on his podcast several times, saying it's stupid. It looks stupid. And he hates those spots as well. These kind of moments, they've got to take them out the show. They just don't look... I don't know who they cater for. I don't know if it's kids or who it caters for. There can't be. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that because maybe there is, but there can't be adults that are watching that finish going, oh, and losing their minds. Can't be. Surely you all saw Mankind. And if you saw the Mankind spots, that's the benchmark now. You've got to reach that benchmark or beat it. And that just doesn't even get close. It's just not even in the conversation. I mean, I would be embarrassed to show that on a replay. So, just don't do it. Don't leave the cage. If that's what you had planned, don't do it. And this is the kind of stuff that holds AEW back, because they do a great match and then they shoot themselves in the foot. Or they'll do, like Stadium Stampede for me. Stadium Stampede, which I know a lot of people enjoyed, but Stadium Stampede for me, two, groups that hated each other, and then you've got Matt Hardy changing clothes underwater, and that bell being rung, and was it Santana or Ortiz that was like vibrating in the chair, and you got the Young Bucks running down the steps to then drop an elbow, and you got Jericho fighting with the mascot, and it was just silliness. Like, these two groups hated each other. Then do a match like Blood and Guts where they can rip each other apart. Not some stupid comedy thing that was Stadium Stampede. I hated it. Hated Stadium Stampede. And this, I was full of praise of, and I was really into it, and then you get that ending. Just seems like AEW constantly build up interesting matches and interesting feuds, and then just shoot themselves in the foot. Don't know why they do it. But if they could sort that out, I really do think they would start to get somewhere. I do think that some of the booking sometimes gets in the way. They just always go too far. Always do too much. Maybe they're just over-eager. Perhaps they're just, like, too desperate to please or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because they want, like, big moments so that people can share them on social media. Perhaps that's it. Perhaps they just want, like, well, we're going to need a big moment because we need everyone tweeting and talking about it. So perhaps that's it. Someone's got to be thrown off the top, because if not, then what are people going to share on Twitter? I don't know. I don't know if that's it, if that isn't it. I don't know what the thought process is. But again, if you can't reach the standards that have been set, then don't do it. Now Cassidy is in the main event picture that is sports-based entertainment. You've given 2 examples of where they've shot themselves in the foot. Dude, I can sit here and keep going till the cows come home. How about when Matt Hardy teleported and then they had to backtrack on that? Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, honestly, we can sit here and keep going if you want to talk about when they've shot themselves in the foot. And this is coming from someone that watches AEW. This is coming from someone that, wants to enjoy the product and does enjoy parts of the product. But, I can understand why there's people that watch it and go, yeah, this isn't for me. I can understand that, because even I will say they go too far. Going Ghost says, no hate, but AEW needs to realise the only part most people will remember is the end. the cringe moment will be what people will remember. Yeah, I mean, again, we said it at the time. Listen to JR. I think JR's a bit of a problem for them, and I like JR, and I listen to his podcast, and I know he gets very frustrated and upset and annoyed when people say that he doesn't care anymore. But like, if you compare his reaction when the Mankind moment happened to his reaction when he basically just, I'm sorry, but I think he sees what we see. I honestly think JR is seeing what we're seeing, and he's just thinking to himself, I can't lose my mind at this. I can't. I can't. It's a crash mat. So he can't, the lines that he's coming out with are all like, he might have, I can't remember his exact line. It's sort of like, he's hurt his back or something. It's not like, oh God almighty, we need to get people out here. Like, I feel like Excalibur is like trying to do that. I think he's the one that's trying to bring that kind of energy and that kind of urgency into the commentary. But it's really difficult for him, isn't it? Because I feel like JR's just kind of sat there, not really knowing what to say. Because I think he tries to call it as he's seeing it. And I think if there's something like that he's just not feeling, then that really does come across in his commentary. So I do think that's a problem. Because I do think the commentators could actually try and make that seem like a bigger deal. But good God almighty! Harley said, Days, the first hour was just okay. Then we had a great match, but then the final 12 minutes was boring. It did lose momentum. And then the ending was disappointing. Not as good as SmackDown. Bonkers said 15th of May is the next one, Championship. But Spark said more crash mats are needed. Edward said, my favourite women's AEW match is Britt Baker versus what's her name with the face paint? Thunder Rosa. Chris said, every big spot is like that, using obvious crash mats. It's not that deep. In AEW, that's true, but, I mean, WWE? I mean, I suppose when they're doing stuff over by, the entrance stage or whatever, but in fairness, I'm not a big fan of that either. Anything that's going to use, crash mats, I just think looks lame. Just looks lame. I mean, in WWE, I think they try to hide them a little more, in the sense of someone will get thrown off the side of the entrance stage, and then you won't really see, what they've landed on. But with this, it was quite clear what it was. And it's not the first time they've done it. Didn't they do this during that Bunkhouse Stampede match as well? I'm sure there was another kind of crash mat moment in that. It's quite regular that they go to this with AEW, and I don't know, it's just, I don't care what the company is. I don't care if it's WWE. I don't care if it's AEW. I don't care if it's Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor, whoever it is. If you're using crash mats and we can see that it's a crash mat, it sucks. It's not good enough. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Victor said WWE hides it better. William said teleported, like on Star Trek. Yes. Yeah, that is the thing that actually happened. Like Star Trek. What did you think of Darby down the stairs? But I thought that was cool. I was into that. I mean, he really took that bump, and that is impressive. I mean, there's no easy way to take that. That is Darby literally throwing himself down concrete steps, which is legit dangerous. So I thought that was a very good moment. I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, Darby going down the stairs was really good. I mean, look, there's parts of the show. I'm not laying into the show. I'm laying into the end and the ending because I think it deserves it. But I'm not laying into this show overall. I think that this was an entertaining show. I think that the first match was okay. It was fine. Didn't blow me away. Didn't need the beat down after. Something else AEW could really do with turning down is the amount of post-match beatdowns. But first match was fine. I really enjoyed Cody against QT Marshall. I thought Cody and QT Marshall was good. I enjoyed that. Britt Baker beating up a high school kid, whatever. And tag match was whatever. It's all right. But Blood and Guts was really good at the start, and then obviously everything we spoke about. So all in all, I think this was a really, if you watched this, I think there was lots of talking points. You would have been entertained. But yeah, even this, which is like their big special show, you can still sit here and go, well, that needs tweaking, that needs changing, not sure about this, not sure about that. So I find them frustrating. I find AEW, that would be the word that I would use for AEW, frustrating, because they do a lot of good stuff, and then they do some really silly stuff, and you really want them to fix the sillier stuff, because they really have got something. They've got some great wrestlers, and they can put on some great matches, and if they can just fix some of that other stuff, they could really start going somewhere. I mean, I really think that they would have a very, very exciting product. But they just keep doing questionable things. Like the way they brought Miro in. What was that about? I mean, granted, they're starting to book him like a killer now. And I am looking forward to next week and seeing him taking on Darby Allin. It should be a very good match. So, and you'd have to think Darby's TNT title is going to be at risk next week. So, and obviously we're building towards Double or Nothing as well. So we're building towards like Britt Baker against Karu Shida. So that should be very interesting also. So there's plenty of like stuff going on at the moment that I do enjoy about AEW. But I just wish they would fix some of these other things. The ending could have had more impact and punch, but overall solid, enjoyable match, says LSW. But as Spark said, Darby is just a masochist, so he probably loved the stairs bit. I think you probably do have to love it if you're going to throw yourself down some stairs. There's probably got to be a sick part of you that does enjoy it, so. Bonkers said Miro should beat Darby Allin. Grant said, I'll take 29 crash mats over Raw any day. Well, that's true. I mean, I'm certainly not sitting here saying that Raw is any better than the ending of that match. I don't know what's better. And in fact, Big Boy Deli says, what was better, NXT or AEW? It's really tough. It's really, really tough. It's really tough. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what was better. I think maybe AEW just. I mean, there's a lot. The cage looked great. The Pinnacle's ring attire looked great. The boiler suits on Inner Circle looked great. I kind of feel like there's a lot of little really great moments that, just really good. Like, even the video package from Moxley and the Garter, that was great. So, there's lots of little moments that are great tonight. It's just as we keep coming back to the ending and whatnot. So, I'll say that AEW just pips it, just takes it. But it is close. It is close. Monica King, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Strange how you liked the start, hated the ending. That's very different to Wargate. That is true. Yeah, normally you are right. Johnny said, your birthday next week. How old will you be? 21. I'm really looking forward to it. 21 next week, yeah. NXT was the better show. Harley said 7 out of 10 for me. Right. Well, guys, look, now that Monica's here, I think it's time for us to go. I think it is time for us to wrap it up. Because no one this week for us to enjoy. And I think we've said everything that needs to be said about AEW tonight. As we said, overall, I'm going to say that it just pips NXT, but it's super, super close. Super, super close. Austin said NXT was 7.5. I'm going to give AEW a 7. What are you getting Mama Days from Mother's Day? Oh, it's not Mother's Day here in the UK. That was back in March. You haven't given it a score. It's a hard show to score, to be honest. I mean, match for the match, I would probably agree with the chat. I'm going to go with, like, 3.5. I'll go 3.5 for the match, and I think that's the most important thing to score. I think this whole show is built around that match, and I'll go 3.5. I was probably at, like, a 4.25, and then bring it down for the ending. So, I think 3.5 is fair. I think it's fair. I wouldn't go lower. I wouldn't want to go really lower than that. I thought a good bulk of that match was really enjoyable. So I wouldn't go lower than 3.5. If you did go lower, then absolutely fine. You know, everyone's going to have their own opinions. And for a few people out there, the ending might have completely derailed the match. But for me, you know, the match was largely good. Largely good. Shout out to Lisa Jarrett. And that is it. We are done. Right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate the support. If you enjoyed it, awesome. If you didn't, well, there's always next week. And next week's show looks good. So we'll see what they've got in store for us next week. We are back tomorrow for Wrestling Escape Pod. Back on Friday for SmackDown. Back on Saturday for UFC. Have a great evening, wherever you are. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.